dramatically in my favor. Joker?
Did he crash?
Did he?
Did he crash?
Oh, he is lagging bad.
No, I didn't crash. I almost crashed. Almost crashed.
We saw that.
Oh my gosh.
I was looking. I was like, is he alive? Or... Wait, what the hell?
Axel, finally.
All right, welcome to the street. Yeah, I know, because I give them the crap. With that timer.
Not my fault.
Oh. Oh, I see the profiles. I didn't know you could set profiles on there. Oh, that's interesting. I have to remember that.
Go ahead and stop that because it's killing me.
Don't worry, I'll have
actually
your chat pulled up.
I have his chat pulled up in front of me.
Yeah, I have it on my
Yeah.
left. My
Oh,
left
hi.
arm. Hi, you're down there now.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually hit the click trigger.
I hit the trigger. That's why.
Oh. Actually, let me move this to my other hand.
Because I was resizing the window.
Oh god. Oh
Actually, you know
god.
what? That's a good point. I should.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Please
no.
let me look at the... Oh, you're gonna
Where did
make
it
me
go?
full again.
I have a.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Where'd it go? There it is. It's in the void.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
So, like
Having
normal,
fun?
this is usually the start.
Now I'm having issues. God damn it. Joker gave me his bullshit. I don't want it.
Well, too bad. You're gonna have it now.
I feel like this is what's gonna happen when I go back to streaming again.
You're gonna have too many problems. You're gonna have problems that you're gonna have.
Oh boy.
Oh, where the heck did he go?
He's over here.
I'm right here.
Yeah, where did the window go?
I'm sorry. I think I took it into the void. That's my fault.
You took his chat in the void. Good job.
Well, at least it's somewhere. I mean, at least you know where it's at that point.
Nope, I got it.
Oh, there it is.
I summoned it out of the void. I got it back.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So, besides the fact of... Hello, guys. Besides the fact of... Yes, thank you. Yes, that definitely works for the situation. First of all, as you can see, I'm not in full body. The AC in my place, and of course, being in Georgia, does not cut it. And wearing full body and moving around and watching my lovely tail go back and forth is not going to work. But this week, now that we've got everything started and everything is not lagging horribly bad right now, we got Crimson, Dairy, and Fenrir, and on this week, we're gonna delve a little bit more into the nittier-grittier side of the furry community in VRC. And there's no way, I was just talking to Crimson about this, there's no way to say this nicely, but mental instability or mental problems in the furry community in VRC, and then we will finish it up with a conversation about polyamorous relationships.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be able to... Ben, you're excited about that.
I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited about all the conversation we're about to have today.
Yeah, we're gonna have a ton of conversation about a bunch of different things, to say the least, especially mental health.
And that's good. And that's what this is the whole point of this, and is bringing the furry community out and showing the different aspects of it, because the community is large. I mean, if you look strictly at the cons itself, like last year FWA had over 10,000 people. This year it's supposed to be bigger.
Okay.
You know, and that's just in Georgia.
Hi, Spy.
There's no telling how the other ones have grown.
All right,
And
Izzy,
even
enjoy
in
your shower.
VRC, you have a humongous community of furries.
And it's just constantly growing too.
Yep.
Bye. I'm in the podcast
So,
right now.
and I want to bring it, I want to make sure
know.
that it's
Hi.
not, and I brought this up in the first one, is a lot of people associate talking about being a furry as coming out, like you're coming out of the closet, and it shouldn't be that way. You should be who you are and how you feel, regardless of what other people think. So, and I'm glad to have you guys on. Last week we had Axel and Kindle. And of course this
Who
week
are in
we
the
have
chat?
this wonderful cast.
Call us wonderful. Just wait. By the end of it, you won't call us wonderful, I'm sure.
You will call us wonderful after this, to say the least.
And in any podcast, the reason why I have the 18 plus on the thing is be open, don't hold anything back. Like I said, this is the nitty gritty of, the VR. This is the nitty gritty of furry community and what happens in VRC. And I like to, the community, everybody to see it.
Axel, we are watching.
I mean, everybody might be watching something else,
That is true. That is true.
Wow. Oh my god.
I'm starting it early, I see.
We haven't even been in here for 10 minutes and we're already going there.
Yeah, we're already 15
Hi,
minutes
Roscoe.
behind. And like I said, Crimson asked me earlier how long this is supposed to last. I gave it about an hour, but because of the information, because of the conversations, it can last longer than that. It is completely up to you guys. Any questions and answers from chats that you guys want to answer, by all means, go ahead.
Okay.
So, at first, what I've seen in a lot of VRC through TikTok, through videos, is the depression and mental problems that are carried into the furry community in VRC, and I've seen the good side and the bad side of things. Some of the bad side of things is I think that a lot of the mental problems have been used as a crutch or as an excuse to treat others badly. What are your opinions on that?
Oh, Kirby, you want to go to that one first? Because I would really like to say something about that one.
So I can agree that a lot of the times mental health is used as a crutch, or a scapegoat to give excuse on why someone behaves the way they do. And the reason I say this is I myself suffer from depression, anxiety, borderline personality, a lot of disorders that are being used as these crutches. But I don't bring those issues into my community. If I'm having a bad day, like say I'm depressed, I will not get into VR chat and bring it into the group of friends that I hang out with. I will stay off, try to get myself out of it before I get back on. Now, unfortunately, Derry knows this side of me. Unfortunately, that I have not used that same method in like messages and DMs. Unfortunately, I do sometimes lead that into conversations, but I do not bring it in IRL kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I agree that a lot of the issues that arise when it comes to mental health in VR chat specifically, they are used as scapegoats or outs to point the blame for their behavior, and I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I can say the same.
I can say the exact same for Krim, and I'm also saying it to the same way that Krim does. I do not want to bring it into my own community as well. Even myself, I'm even saying it for myself. I have severe mental issues myself. I've had a lot of stuff going on through my entire life, throughout the entirety of my entire year since I've joined this fandom 1 year ago. And being a scapegoat like that, it just hurts a lot of people, and I don't want to bring it to other people to, not feel so bad. But it's not a scapegoat. It's not. I really do not believe that it is a scapegoat. One, because it hurts communities. Two, it hurts friendships. And three, it just does not look good on basically everybody else that looks up to you, pretty much. That's how I see it.
Womp womp.
I probably should have worded that a little different. Not everyone uses it as a scapegoat, but
Tracker's not
Some
like you,
people
Derry.
do. And I'm not
My
saying
headset decided to reset for some reason. That's why.
that always makes it fun. No, I'm not saying that everybody likes to use it as a scapegoat, and I do understand that. I've had conversations with people that have used it like immediately as an excuse. Like I treat people like crap because of this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem. The thing that I told that person at the time was, I also have this problem, this problem, this problem, and you don't see me causing any bringing it in. But I do understand that even in this community, that you do have close friends and close relationships that you should be able to go to and vent, or if things are getting bad. Like you said, you go into DMs, sometimes it bleeds into DMs. Sometimes you need somebody to vent to. Sometimes you need to talk to somebody. And when you are in this community and you do find those close friends, you should be able to have friends close enough to be able to go to help you out.
right.
That's the other side of it. So you got the pluses and minuses of it. You got the plus of having friends that are able to help you out, and then you got the minus side of, I'm just a dickhead because I have this problem, this problem, this problem.
Yeah.
And I do agree with that, Dead. And I have a lot of close friends that actually do care very a lot about me, to say the least, especially with how I have been feeling over the last couple of weeks, to say the least. I mean, I really don't want to say it entirely personally, but so several years ago, I pretty much had it was actually, I think it was 2 days ago is basically when it happened. I had a minor mental breakdown on stream. It was not fun. I literally I kind of felt like I was in a panic attack, pretty much. I felt like everything was starting to crash down around me, and I kind of felt that there wasn't any closure in myself, and I felt bad for myself for letting it happen. And some of my friends came after me after stream and asked if I was all right, and I did feel a little bit better after, some of them did come to me and say, hey, you doing all right at least? But I straight out told them I was not.
I get that. My experience has been interesting for the most part when it comes to mental health and depression and stuff. I can say for me, I don't think I have any mental health or depression or anything like that. I have my down moments where I'm down or, just stressed and stuff like that. But I have dealt with people who have a lot of depression or have dealt with stuff like my mate. She deals with depression. She deals with anxiety. She goes to therapy for it and stuff. So I'm kind of like the not scapegoat, but like the person that she can come vent to, if anything. I'm the safe haven, basically. And
You're the support network.
yeah, I'm the support network. And that's how I am with a lot of my friends as well. It's like, if you having a bad time, you need to vent or something, don't worry. It's not going to make my day crap. I want to hear it. I want to know what's going on and stuff like that. But I know there are some people who do try to, abuse it and use it against you, or just to try and get feelings out of you or something like that. And like, it's hard to discern, but there are times where you can tell when somebody's just doing it to get the best out of you. And when it comes to me, I will give you all the support that you need, but I have a limit. I have a limit. So there are times where I've had to tell people to back off, or, you know, you need to chill, you need to relax a little bit, because you're abusing your network a little bit, because you're trying to. It's every day with you. It shouldn't be every day. You should have some good days, especially if you have people who want to surround you and be with you. So you can't be every day that you're having a bad time, or if things are not going your way, you're having a bad time. Your mental health is integrated with it, because not everybody's gonna know what you're going through, what your past has been. So there will be times where somebody will trigger something and they don't know, they didn't know, they just got to interact with you. So I have dealt personally with that.
And you can't be mad at them for doing that.
Yeah. And I have dealt personally with that a little bit sometimes, where I've triggered something that somebody dealt with in the past, and it's like, hey, I didn't know that was a trigger. You can't blame me. I have proof that I didn't know. And it's like that's the one thing about me that has saved, like, when it comes to like my streaming and recording stuff and things like that. It's like I've had many times where people have like gone off on me. It's like, hey, you didn't know this, that, and the third. But like, dude, look at the video. I tried to help you. Or like, you know, I didn't know the situation. Like we had plans to come, you know, do that stuff. So it's like, I handle my stuff differently, but like, I don't mind people venting to me at all. Like, especially if you're my friend, I want you to have a corner where you can go vent to, be, you know, somebody that can understand and not judge you, because I know everybody goes through stuff. So I'm not about to sit here and judge you.
We're not perfect. That's the thing, is none of us are perfect. We all have our own flaws in one way or the other, but we won't know those flaws unless you tell us.
The therapy has been helping her
or
a bit,
somebody informs you of that flaw. Like for me, for example, sometimes communication is my biggest flaw, because if I'm having a bad day, I never vent. I hold it in, just listen to music and try to deal with it myself. And I have, ironically, 3 people right here who have all told me that if I'm having a bad day, I can go talk to them, but I don't. So, I mean, I know that's a flaw, and I'm trying to work on it. I am.
That's why I point. That's why I pointed at you. That's why I pointed at you.
You do bring up a point, Prim, and I do have that same issue too, where stuff literally gets to me, and sometimes I just don't even I just bottle it up pretty much. I bottle it up and put it in a corner, never to be seen again. I pretty much just put myself like as much as happy as possible, and I'm pretty much in that point where I'm like, I don't care. I just bottle everything up and then just store it away, and then one day it'll just explode pretty much at that point.
Which isn't good.
Yep.
Which isn't good.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
I can't bottle my stuff up. Like, my body language, if I'm having a bad day, you're gonna know I'm having a bad day. Even though I will try and be like, happy, you know, let's have fun and stuff and distract, but like my body language gives me away so much. I can't hide anything. If I'm having a shitty day, you're gonna know I'm having a shitty day. Like, I've been times where I've been streaming and people come on.
In VR chat, though, we can hide it in VR chat. But if you met me in real life, I would not be able to hide it at all.
You can kind of hide it in VR chat, but it's still. I have full body, so my body language is gonna give me away. Either way, there's some cue that's gonna give you away in some shape or form. Because there's been times where I've run into you, Krim, and I'm like, nah, you're having a bad day, Krim. What's going on? And then you're just like, nothing, and I'm like, I know.
You're like,
there's also
I'm good,
in people,
and you're
too.
like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there's big slight differences.
Yeah, when you're around somebody enough, you get to learn their tells, the way they sound, the way they move, and stuff like that. And whenever that is even slightly off, depending on how close you are to them, you can tell immediately that something's different.
Yeah,
something has changed. And then when
I'm
you ask
I'm
them,
the
it's up
same
to
way
them
as well.
to decide if they want to tell. So Yeah, that's.
I've done that with
what I've
this
seen.
one. I've done that with him. Like, I could tell something's off, and I'll ask them, "Hey, what's wrong?" And they're like, "Nothing." I'm just like, "I call bullshit, but I'm not going to pry." If you want to tell me, you'll tell me, but I'm not going to pry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's another thing with overthinkers too. Is overthinkers will go and they'll run that brain and just make things worse. And sometimes it's easier to get to another person's opinion.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Exact same
Yeah.
thing. That's
Yeah,
me
I
right there.
have
That's
that-
me
I
right
have that
there.
same
That's
problem.
me
It's
right
just
there.
The overthinking brain that just goes, well, what if? And if this changed, and then your brain just keeps
Dad,
going and going and going. It gets worse.
You
and
have
worse.
the exact same thing that I do. You have the exact same thing. I overthink things way too much, and it runs through my mind, and then I cannot sleep. I get stressed. I get anxious. I get
Roscoe, yeah, you've tried hiding it, but
so
it's hard to hide.
impatient with people.
It's very noticeable
That's
with you,
what
Roscoe.
I was meaning earlier about Gary knows about a recent event with that, because my mind was getting to me, and I asked him a question specifically to him, and he answered me and told me to stop overthinking things, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right. I need to stop. I need to get off of all social media until I get over my mindset right now. And so, yeah, that's what I meant earlier by bleeding into DMs. Is I try to just deal with it, but then those depressive thoughts or whatever can bleed into DMs with people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I like asking for other people's opinions on situations sometimes, and even my sister, who is my rock, she'll notice differences, and all I'm doing is sitting there looking at a computer screen, and she'll go, "What's wrong?" And I didn't move nothing. It's just like she looks at me and goes, "What's wrong?" And I can't think, a lot of times I can't think of anything off the strap, and I do apologize, I know my sister's listening, but I do, there's sometimes I do blow up at her, and I don't mean to, when
Really
that thing
quickly,
does
Joker?
get too much. Yeah.
Chad is saying they can hear the in-game stream.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Should we mute it?
Just turn the word
I
volume
turn
down.
that off.
The world down.
I
Yeah.
turn my sounds off. So
For the world. Okay, I should probably do that too.
yeah.
Because that's what distracted me earlier, actually. Is I was talking and then I heard myself in the background, so I'm just like,
Well,
what?
I heard the entirety of I heard the entirety when he started, and I'm like, oh, yep, that's in room stream.
And thank you for the follow, guys. I hadn't said it earlier, but we were in the middle of a conversation. I didn't want to interrupt it.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting, Joker. I just wanted to make sure you were aware. Since you can't see your chat right now.
Well, as long as people can hear you guys, because the first 15-20 minutes of the first one, nobody can hear Axel or Kindle.
Oh.
What is this? This is what, your second podcast?
Yep. We're
Yeah.
episode 2.
Session?
Well, all you gotta do is just go to our things and just turn us all the way up.
I just had
True.
to turn it down, and I turned the streams down too.
Yeah, if you have
to
to,
make
you can
sure.
always mute the video player too. Make sure it's not picking us up.
Yeah, I just turned down
Oh
the
yeah,
world.
that too.
That too.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
way he doesn't
right.
have to get
Yeah.
up.
I'm gonna go ahead and do
I
that.
love that. Oh yeah, that's right.
Since I have the world all the way up, there we go. Okay. Well, I turned it up for for other worlds because I don't hear a lot.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
keep
You
it
can't
turned
hide
down
it.
for most worlds anyways, just
We
because
gotcha,
of
Axel.
the background. Something like when we were doing the Olympics.
Yeah.
That last world's music was just so annoying.
I turned
just
it down. I
wanted
had to turn that
shoot
world down.
somebody.
I turned it down and put my music up. I was like, I'm just gonna listen to my music. Turn that world down.
And by the way, before we continue, this wonderful bean right here allowed me to win that last match, last 2 matches, and
Aw.
he made it look like he tried, but he gave it to me, and it allowed me to get what, 4th place?
Yeah.
I think in
Yeah.
the Olympics.
You tied
Yeah,
4th
see,
place.
Yeah, see that help right there, that allowing me to win, helped move me up, and I do appreciate it.
I mean, I had to make the last battle exciting. I had to make the last battle exciting. Axel said, "Wow."
Wow.
I mean, well, we had to make it somewhat exciting, Axel. You can't be mad about that.
Exactly. I just had to make it good.
It's not cheating if we're allowing somebody to win.
No, I didn't actually. I didn't actually let him win.
As long as you're
I actually
helping.
fought a little bit. I didn't
Exactly.
actually let him win.
Yeah,
It's
all
not
about the
cheating if you're
content.
doing it for somebody else's benefit than yours.
Yeah. It's just helping an old man before he breaks a hip.
I mean, well, I know we're derailing a little bit, but if we go back to when the boxing match was before I crashed, I whooped you literally 3 rounds straight before I crashed.
I know. Yeah. You.
Oh Lord.
It was horrible, guys. It was horrible. Like the year before, I was doing good, but apparently a year can change somebody's boxing ability that quick. Oh my God! Like he beat me like a redheaded stepchild. It was horrible. Like, oh man.
You just beat him up, just go like,
Yeah, it was horrible. I should have I might as well just stood there and just take the beating. Like I did so horribly bad. Yeah. Yeah, and then I had to keep getting into the match with him. Well, for some unknown reason, Axel was evil. So, I mean,
You need a counter for this podcast. How many times they get? Well, listen, we've only got off topic once, Axel. It's off topic like once.
it's bound to
How
happen.
many times did Axel and Kindle go off topic? Out of curiosity.
Well, the whole sound thing kind of blew us out of proportion a little bit. But
Okay.
it wasn't too bad. It flowed pretty well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I can't lecture Axel on that, so I'll let that one be.
Speaking about mental instability, what sort of problems have you seen? I mean, I've seen DID used in the situation. Anxiety is always a big thing, and I would never call that an excuse. And this is not for an excuse, man. This is just, what have you seen in the furry community that would kind of hinder certain things? Like, I've seen D&D, there's anxiety, there's my brain
PTSD.
stuff. Yeah, there's
PTSD.
just a few. What have you guys seen?
So the biggest ones that I personally have seen have been depression, anxiety, PTSD, and bipolar. Those are the 4 big ones that I've actually seen within the community. The DID, actually there's one person who I met, you know them as well. I've dealt with them many times, but they were the first case of DID I've ever seen. I've never actually witnessed what DID is. But like I said, depression, bipolar, anxiety, and depression are the 4 big ones I've personally have come across.
I gotta agree. I've seen depression, anxiety. I have seen PTSD firsthand because there is someone within VRC that I'm friends with. Is actually in the military and he's actually deployed right now. Again, salute off to his service, to say the least. And that's the only ones that I've seen, at least throughout the entire community, at least so far. That's the only ones that I've seen.
Yeah. You're my friend. Of course. You're a pup. So of course I'm gonna help you. I have seen basically the same anxiety, depression, a little bit of PTSD. I think I've seen I've like kind of experienced DID before, but like recently, like I mean, this whole I would say year that I've known, I'm just gonna say Skittles. He's the main one that I've seen like DID firsthand in person. So there is a lot of stuff that other people. I've seen other things like on Twitter or with like YouTube people talking about it, but firsthand experiences definitely depression, anxiety, and the DID has been like the main big ones that I've been seeing. But as I try to help out as best as I can with it. But I know it can be a hinder for a lot of things.
Would you possibly agree to this idea that everybody, I'm not saying everybody, but everybody has, well, let's be general here. Everybody has certain ways to relieve stress or anxiety.
Yes.
And I would have to say that there's probably a lot of people in VRC who are introverted, who don't like to go out, who don't like people, who don't like to socialize out in public or being out there, but they're okay to socialize in VRC. It's a kind of sort of a safe space, and a lot of people I think play games to relax.
I agree with that, and that I do see that. I do see that entirely. I've noticed throughout like a ton of different communities, there are so many people that feel introverted, but play VRC and they're not introverted.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that through every single community that I've been with, especially with, let's see, oh my god, I'm in so many different communities.
Poppy first.
Bubs' community, Letros community, Slushy's community, Axel's, there's, like I said, there's so many people. I can't name every single one of them, but I mean that from what I've personally seen myself, especially being here for almost like I said, for an entire year, I've seen that.
And I'm not an introvert by any nature. Like I enjoy socializing, but being in VR chat and having an avatar, my issue is my self-conscious. I am self-conscious, self-aware kind of thing, where I don't like my body, I don't like the way I look, and VR chat would allow me to, interact with people with not having that self-conscious stopping me. And, I've made quite a few friends. I mean, hell, I even make my partners through VR chat, including this one.
Indeed.
But, people don't seem to realize that VR chat is more than just a game. It's a way for us to socialize, to meet people, make friends, and get out of our shell. Because for example, when I first met, let's use, Roscoe and Henrique and Ace Coyote as an example. When I first met them in VR chat, before I met them at MFF, I was outgoing, I was social, interacting with them on the daily. But then when I got to MFF, my first day there, meeting all three of them in person, and I was just sitting in the corners like, I need to work up the cords to go give them a hug. I told them I would give them a hug. Freaking out because my social anxiety got involved. And by the end of the second day, I was fine. Everything was good. But that first day of meeting them, and my social anxiety went from, I got this, I'm going to give them a hug the first time I see them, to, oh God, what am I doing?
I do have to agree with that with Krim, though. I mean, some people, like I said, there's a lot of different people that me being an introvert too, I kind of agree that I'm a little bit of an introvert, but I'm trying not to be an introvert anymore. I'm trying to be more an extrovert because I want to go out more and have more fun, because let me just say, my entire life I've been sheltered so much, and I've literally not, in my entire life, I've not had any fun with myself whatsoever.
Yeah, as far as for me, as an hardcore introvert, and I mean I was a hardcore introvert. I've branched out a bit as the years have gone, but yeah, VR chat has helped a lot. Seeing people on like playing games, talking to them and stuff has helped me like. So like you may think that I'm a hard like I'm outrovert. I will go out. I will hang out with everybody. But no, if I have an option to stay home and just play games, I will. I will stay home, play games, and don't go out.
That's me. 100%.
So like
I hate people.
So like I may be outgoing on VR chat. I may talk and interact with everybody. That's because I'm not in my body. I'm here. I'm in VR chat. It's all digital characters. I'm my persona and stuff. So that helps. That helps put up like a barrier to kind of help me be more outgoing, because in person I'm completely different. Unless I'm like really close with you, I'm like we're friends and stuff, and I'm hanging out with friends. If I'm hanging out with friends, I'm gonna be outgoing. I'm gonna be talking to my friends. We're gonna be hanging out, everything. But if I'm like in a random social place like a con, I'm going to be like a nervous wreck. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to try and have conversation, but it's just, I'm going to feel like I'm awkward as hell and not know what to talk about with people. So it is, it's so hard.
Absolutely.
I feel that 100%, to be honest to you.
My MFF was the first big con I have ever been to, and I was excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm absolutely ecstatic. But the first day I got there, not only was I meeting up with my group, I had to meet up with Axel's group, and then a third group that I had to meet up with all at the same time. It was. Oh God, I was overwhelmed. So to kind of give context, the third group was JD Taylor. He works on fursuits, and I offered him to take photos of his fursuits for his portfolio. So we were supposed to meet up, and I had our group, your group, and Taylor's group all around me, and I actually had to go outside because my social anxiety got way out of control, and I'm like, nope, this is too much. I need to go take a break.
Apparently your audio crashed, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, my screen did go black there for a second. Is it back? Can you hear it now? No, game sound is off.
Oh joy.
Heck.
Do you have like an external audio driver, or?
It's being... I think VRC just flashed.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. The other day I was getting kicked from instances for no reason.
Well, when Fenrir was talking, my screen did go black.
Oh.
Axel said it sounds like the audio source changed.
Back. Everything in mine is internal.
So all of my audio goes through Wavelink because I have an Elgato Wave 3. So
mine goes through Voice Meter Potato.
Yeah,
I tried using Voice Meter. I couldn't do it.
My audio is just my computer audio. That's it. I don't have any special stuff for mine.
We've got us too with like fancy audio equipment, and you're like, I just got my default.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just
mine,
default.
so mine I can literally set up between like different sections. So I have like voice meter for one specific thing, and voice meter for another thing, and voice meter for another thing, and literally I can just use all of that just for one single thing.
That's the same way with voice meter. Or okay, Axel said it's working again.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, when my screen went black, I was like, oh crap.
Yep. Not again.
Oh my god.
Not again.
But do I have to repeat all that, or are we still good?
Oh, we're still good.
Okay.
I have it on my end at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what I'm gonna end up doing is recording a small video before I put it on the YouTube. We were talking about. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so sorry, my brain's all over the place.
You're good.
It's okay.
My brain never stops running. You ever have those days? Well, okay.
I've had those days.
Ever since I was
Joker,
born, my
I was
brain
about to
is
say, I'm
always
ADHD.
going.
I'm ADHD.
Listen,
My mind's always going. It
I have
never rests.
ADHD. My brain can go everywhere.
Yeah, and even when you're trying to sleep, it's always continuously going. It never stops. It's just a constant thing. Everybody's like, well, just take deep breaths and just calm your mind and just empty your mind. And I'm like,
Here, you know what? Everyone who ever says, just take a deep breath, calm your mind, I'll be like, bitch, fine. Trade brains with me for one day. You'll see how you can calm it down.
I'm the same way. So what I do to sleep is I think of overly complicated like machines and engineering stuff, or just a whole bunch of
I take a
naked people.
What?
So I mean, it's one of those
that
two
would
that helps
help
me
you.
get to sleep.
You know what? Whatever.
Oh my god.
I would expect that would keep you awake, but whatever.
I would expect to keep you
Oh
that
my
keep you
God.
awake.
Roscoe, you're trying to
Okay,
die.
I'm old, okay?
Don't
I'm
die,
old.
Ross.
It's like, you know,
How old are you again?
I'll be May 1st. I'll be 43.
Oh yeah, that's right. You are actually older than me. I was about to smack you because I was about to say you're younger than me. I'm gonna beep you.
You know, I have like
I think
people telling me it's like people are telling me like, do you know anybody over 40? I'm like, yes.
I think the only person I know that's older than me is Firecat. That's the only person so far
That's fair. Yeah.
that I know that's older than me. So,
See, the funny thing is, I have friends who are younger than me, like in their freaking 20s, and they're like, "I'm old." I'm just like, bitch,
I
shut
hate
the
that
hell up.
so
You are
much.
not old.
I hate that so
See,
much.
I hate people who say that so much, and they're like,
like
you have like this.
90% of Axel's community is in their low under 20s. You know,
You
or,
know,
they're
something
like,
in their
I'm
20s
old.
area.
I literally just had this conversation just yesterday with an Uber driver because I work for Uber. Obviously, I drive
Oh
passengers
God!
around.
Oh no!
Listen, the conversation came up, and the guy was literally like asking me what I do.
Oh
Crib.
God!
So this guy asked me.
Oh,
He
no.
said, "What is this?" And I was like, "Just search it up for God's sake." And I was like, "Don't think of the bad stuff though. It's not bad."
You know, Crib can't see
and
this, right?
he was
He
like,
can't
"Oh, well,
see
that's
what you
nice.
guys
It
are
must be a
saying."
Gen Z or a millennial thing."
Crib.
Talk about triggered. Yes.
You're gonna have like two people you're gonna have to murder in my chat.
Who?
Spy and Roscoe. Spy is spreading your Pokemon nickname to Roscoe right now.
Oh God! I'm gonna kill me a puppy later. And I'm gonna kill me a spy later too. I'll deal with those two later.
See, and I hate to say it, but you know, I've seen the furry community change so much over the years.
Yeah.
Because of my age, I've seen it. You know, and this is the light, and what basically the same thing I told Axel and Kindle is, this is the lighter side of the furry fandom. You know, I've back when I was younger. You know, back in the day when I had to walk uphill both ways through, 6 feet of snow, the only thing to keep my hands warm was a hot
6
potato,
feet
and
of
that was
snow,
also
come on
my
now.
lunch. But anyways, back then it was
Get wrecked.
It was dark.
Get wrecked, Spy.
and it was nothing but sexual. Every horrible thought or idea that somebody had behind furries, just saying furries, was true, because that's the way the community was back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, and
agree.
You know, things have changed, especially with all of the cons that have come out. It helps change things. Of course, FWA last year, the 18+ section scared me, of all people.
Axel told me about that.
I think I remember you.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah.
Charizard, you'll probably die, Roscoe.
And I do travel through some interesting groups
Mhm.
of. But anyways, to continue on, the last part of the conversation, I think this is what you guys are waiting for. Polyamorous relationships in the VR world, or I should say in the furry fandom and or VRC.
Mm-hmm.
There is a for and against side for it. I have had a poly relationship. I had a poly relationship with 2 other people. They were living together at the time. I was the long distance. I would have to say personally that was horrible on my side because I wasn't able to join in with their fun. So it left a bad taste in my mouth. But I'm not fully against it, but I'm guessing you guys are definitely for.
So I'll let you guys. I'll let you guys have your opinion first before I talk about it because I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say.
Ben, since you decided to open it up, why don't you start with that before I get into?
I have a lot to say about that. You two go for it. I have a lot to say.
No. Come on, Ben. Come on, bring it up. Come on.
Okay, fine. Fine. I'll open it up.
You already opened Pandora's box.
So, basically where I stand on it, I'm going to start off with that. Where I stand on it, I'm for it, but there's many stipulations about it that people need to understand. Poly relationship is not for everybody. I can understand that. I can respect those who have tried it and said, it's not for me. And I can respect those who are just like, I don't like it. I don't like the idea of it. It should be monogamous. But for me, I'm for poly because I like the options, but also I'm one that I have a lot of love to give. So, but I also have a limit. So, like, if I'm gonna have people in my relationship and actually be part of my relationship, there's a limit where I'm gonna stop because I want to make sure that everybody's good, everybody's fine, nobody's losing their mind or feeling jealous or anything like that. Because jealousy does happen. I've had some jealousy moments as well. And I've had to sit there and calm myself down and be like, look, it's fine. Don't get jealous because you're gonna blow something up and you don't want to ruin stuff. So, but like main thing for me was poly is communication. If you're not talking to your partners or registering how you're feeling or you're worried about talking about you got a concern or worry and then you just hold it and bottle it in, I've seen all polys go downhill because of this main thing of not communicating, holding in their feelings, not talking to their partners about it, and then it comes up later on in the relationship and it blows up because it could have been handled sooner. I've seen it happen way too many times. I hate that people do that. That bugs me to hell. Communication is major. Learning that you guys have limitations and stuff, and knowing that when to sacrifice certain stuff, when to actually, co-op work with each other for things like that. Because I have a girlfriend. We're in an open relationship. So this way, if I want to add a boyfriend to the relationship, I can. I'm able to. But that's the thing. Me and her talk about, like, everything. I don't hide anything from her. It makes no sense if you're going to be in a poly relationship to hide anything from your partners. Any of your partners. You hide anything, that's going to blow up on you later. It's bad. But I am definitely for it. I can respect those who don't like it and who don't want to be part of it. I can respect them and we can be friends and stuff like that. I'm not going to sit there and hate you because you don't like a poly relationship. That's not how I am. I can respect that. Some people like it this way. Some people like it that way. We can meet in the middle ground and understand that we both just have our corner. We have our lane that we go into and stuff. So that's the miss for now, but I can add more as we go because there's gonna be points that you guys want to talk about that I'm gonna have.
All right, do you want to go next? Or do you want me to?
Well, I mean, considering both of us are kind of in it, so
gravity.
So, all right, I'll do mine because mine's relatively short. So
exactly, soup.
So originally I actually started off as against poly. I used to be a monogamous type person, and that's what I was searching for until I don't want to get into this topic on this episode.
Yeah, that's fair.
But you already know 3 of what I have. And because of that, I was thinking about it. I'm like, that's basically what a poly is. So why am I so against it? So I decided to give it another try. And, I'm for polys, because at least that way there's not the risk of like let's say it was just me and Derry, for example, and eventually we get bored of one another and we want to go find another. Well, then if we're not in a poly, that's considered cheating. And I don't know about you, but I am against cheating in any way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah, same.
But if you have a poly of, like, say, a total of 4 or a total of 5, let's just go with 5. Then there's 3 other people in the relationship that if you get bored of one, you can go to have fun with, and you can swap out as much as you want. So there's not that lack of, I don't want to say like taste, but lack of lack of variety. That's what I'm looking for. There's not that lack of variety if you have more than one partner in a relationship. However, polys do tend to fail, though, due to no communication or one person being favored over another. So it's complicated, but it can work as long as you communicate and as long as you're not like leaving anyone in the poly out. That's the biggest thing.
Indeed.
Well, let me just say, I mean, considering, it's me and somebody else too. I already have 2, of course. Again, this is still a very big learning curve for me, so I'm not for it or against it. So this is still a learning curve for me. So I really can't say very much to this.
No, I agree. It's also a learning curve for me.
Yeah.
But I think we can work through it, honestly.
And poly is still a learning curve for me as well. Me and my girlfriend has been working on this for a while, and I'm still learning stuff to this day. But I've learned that there's a lot of things that by watching other polys fail and other relationships and stuff that sometimes you just won't click. You can't get mad. Sometimes you just won't click with people in the poly. Somebody's not gonna like somebody, and what matters most about it is do you actually truly have the love and the time being to give that to the people that you want in that poly. That's why for me I said I have a limit. I'm gonna have a limit. I know there's a limit somewhere. I don't know what the number is yet, but I'm gonna keep it low, especially if I add somebody else to the relationship. But I know there's other people who go crazy with saying they have 6, 7 people together, or maybe almost 10. But if it's working for you guys, it's working. You're doing something good that's working. You're communicating. You've got people that all connect well with each other and work. But not every poly is going to work. I know that for a fact. People just will grow out of connection with somebody, or something else will draw their attention somewhere. So it's that's why major part about it is talking about your feelings, understanding that there are probably going to be sacrifices you're going to have to do or stuff, and then understanding if your heart is really in the place for that poly, long distance or close distance. I know for me, I can't do long distance. I can't do long distance.
Yeah, that's difficult.
It is tough. Those who can do long distance relationships and be in a poly doing long distance, I commend you. That is a lot. I just having one person.
Truth be told,
yeah.
Truth be told, I've been struggling with that honestly lately, especially with him. I'm on the west side of the U.S. He's on the east side.
You're mountain time. I'm eastern, so it's very hard.
2 hours difference, and I've actually had friends of mine that told me that I need to spend more time with him, and it's just I try, but by the time that I get off work, he's already getting ready for bed because it's late for him.
Yeah.
So it's difficult, and I'm just thankful that neither one of us has left one another just because of the long distance. Because at some point, I would like to live with him, or him live with me, or however that comes about. But I do care about him a lot.
East Coast.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
Definitely come
about
to
it
the East
because
Coast.
there's nobody on this fucking side of the U.S. Everybody that I love and I'm friends with are on that side of the U.S. I'm moving. Fuck this potato state. I swear to God.
Just potato state. I love that. That's great.
People don't even know Idaho exists. I tell them I live in Idaho. Where the hell's that at? Ah!
I'm
Don't
surprised
feel
you
bad.
get internet
Don't-
out
don't-
there. I mean,
Listen. I'm not gonna dox myself for this, but obviously because
Oh, I see.
big place, obviously. So every time I mention my state, they're like, "Oh, you're from this place?" I'm like, bruh, there's more than just that one city.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what you're talking about.
I figured it out too. I'm like, he's like, I'm this way, and I'm
Grandpa,
like,
you're
oh,
being
I
told to
know
hydrate.
exactly. You're up there. you're up there from me.
Hydrate twice, actually.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm not streaming, so I should probably hydrate too.
That's fair, Hunter.
thank you for the follow, also, and I will hydrate. This brings up a lot of questions. This actually
Thank you
brings up a
for
few
the
questions, and I
follow.
think you guys.
Oh boy.
Thank you
Here
for
we
the
go.
hydration.
What you guys asked. Well, let me take the hydrate first.
Yeah, I gotta hydrate too. I just got smacked with the hydrate as well.
Actually,
We've been getting smacked all with the hydrate.
Yep. If
Grab
I
one
was streaming,
myself,
I know
I
damn
guess.
well I would be too.
So
This actually
the
was this is a
question-
really good podcast. It's turning out good.
Yeah. Wait till you hear the questions, because this is where a lot of people are the thoughts and ideas.
Uh-oh.
So Fenrir, you said earlier about adding somebody into your relationship with you and your
Yeah.
old lady.
Yeah.
Technically, unless it's a permanency, wouldn't that just be an open relationship that you bring people in every once in a while? Because a poly relationship would be a permanent,
Well,
ongoing relationship with multiple people, wouldn't it?
yes. A poly is a permanent relationship with multiple people, and for me, yes, if I was to bring somebody in, it would be a permanent relationship. It's not a I bring you in, we fuck around, we hang out and stuff for a little bit, and then I just kick you to the curb. No, if I'm considering,
That would be a side chick.
yeah, that'd be a side chick.
I was about to say that sounds like a get that. That's hold on. I don't want to be mean, but obviously I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Sorry, I'll be here.
But no, for me, how I roll with it and stuff, because we're in an open relationship, because I haven't found anybody that fits that spot yet. There are a couple close candidates. So like, if I am considering having you like in my relationship, I want you to be my mate and everything. That means you're with me practically forever. I want you around forever. I love you that much that I want you around. But most of the candidates that I do have, they're long distance. They're long distance. So that's what kind of
Finn,
makes it. Yo.
you got a bot in your chat.
Oh, hi. How you doing? Time to get the boots.
I would have taken care of it, but
Yeah, no, I didn't give you
I
the.
love bots.
Oh,
I know, right?
I enjoy giving them the boots. Goodbye.
You know I eat other bots for breakfast.
Oh yeah, no, I eat bots for breakfast too. It's funny. Goodbye.
The
Goodbye,
best
bot.
part of waking up is chop bots in your cup.
But yeah, no.
Not sponsored by. This is not sponsored by Folgers. I swear to God.
But no, like, if I'm
If they want to sponsor
considering,
me, go for it.
that's true. If I'm considering having you as my mate and be part of the poly, because right now it's just an open relationship. So if I'm having you as a poly, no, you are around for like good. I don't like losing friends, and I sure as hell don't like losing partners. And I've only had one partner, my girlfriend. I want to have another partner at some point, but I need somebody has to fit and check all the boxes, and we have to click well and all that stuff. But once you're in, I'm gonna do everything I can to keep you around because I love you. That's I actually love you. I'm giving you a piece of my heart. So I'm not just gonna bring you in and then get rid of you not long afterwards. That's not how I roll. I like to keep the people around that I love and care about. So
I'm the same way.
I also typically have like a limit. Like right now, yeah, I may be part of a 5-way, but that might be changing. We'll see. But
God,
typically,
Drake.
Oh, same thing for you, Joker.
yep.
Oh, a bot just showed up in yours. A bot just showed up in yours.
And I'm not a mod in either one of yours, otherwise I would have taken care of it. Anyway, but no, right now I'm in a 5-way, and it's complicated because there's 3 of us that wanted to be just a poly ourselves, but then there's a engaged couple that's also part of this poly, and I'm just like, I don't know if this is going to work, having a marriage couple as well as a 3-way poly.
Well, it can work.
It was all
It can work.
it can.
It just depends on how everybody connects and willing to work with each other. That's also why, going back to what I said, was if you're gonna be in a poly or some type of relationship with people, you guys have to communicate. There has to be willingness to work it out, and you guys actually have the love there. That's the major parts about it. You gotta have the love there and willing to communicate and have that connection, because if you don't, it's going to fail either now or down the road. It's gonna fail. Something's gonna cause it to fail. I've seen it happen too many times, and that's what also for me. It's like, if I'm gonna do a poly, I have to make sure I do it correct. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Ironically though, so I was originally part of a 3-way with me, him, and one other person, and I'm the one that actually brought it to Gary's attention, because I was the one, as well as the third, who wanted
bite you, Hunter,
to be together. So I went to Darren, I'm like, hey, so what are your thoughts on polys? And that's when he's like, well, I have to get to know the person first. And so I introduced them. They clicked really fucking well, might I add. So we decided to do the poly, but then the other 2 that are now part of this equation comes in, wanting to, like, worried about losing him and the whole 9 yards. And I'm just like, okay, funny thing is about this is I actually made a joke in a Telegram chat.
Sure, Gravity, you can.
That I did not expect to take off. I was like, all those in favor of a 5-way poly, raise your paw. And all 5 of them raised their paw. I'm like, well, that did go exactly as I expected that to go. So that's how that kind of happened.
So
I did, but I didn't expect everyone to say yes, because that kind of surprised me. But anyway,
yeah.
But so I mean, it can work as long as, like I said, you got to communicate. You got to make sure that you're not favoriting everyone. And one of the biggest issues within this 5-person poly that I've seen so far is the 2 that are engaged, and then me. So the biggest issue that I've had so far is the 2 that are engaged.
How about them?
One of them was beginning to get a little jealous, and I can understand.
Headed to the heart inventory.
And then there's me and Derry, who started off as a couple before this 5th one, and the 5th person felt like a 3rd wheel. Didn't want to get in between me and Derry or the other 2, and I was trying to comfort him. It's like, we can make this work. All we'd have to do, so that you don't feel like you're breaking up the other 2, is they will prioritize their relationship. Us 3 can prioritize us, but we can still all love one another equally. That way, you don't feel like you're getting in the middle of theirs. And then he pulled the question of, but what about, they get married, you and Derry get married, what about me? I'm like, we can still put a ring on your finger. It may not be state legal, but we could still put a ring on the finger.
Different terms, a collar ring.
Yeah.
You could always do that.
I mean, we are furries after all.
I mean, putting a collar on somebody at this point is literally giving them a ring. That's how I look at it for a lot of stuff. It's like
That's usually how it goes.
I mean,
Typically.
it's not just in the furry community. BDSM,
Yeah.
the BDSM
Oh, God,
community
no.
also has collaring too.
yeah.
Between
Oh,
a
boy.
master and a submissive, it's the submissive that gets a collar, and they're very ornate collars. I've seen a lot of them.
I've seen them too.
Very ornate collars. Yeah.
My
They're
maid is
very
into it.
custom made and they're very specific.
My maid is into
Yes.
BDSM, so she has shown me a lot of the BDSM side and stuff like that. But I'm too much of a softie. I'm too much of a softie for the hardcore stuff.
I mean,
yeah.
you can still be. I mean, you can still be a soft dom. There are such things as soft doms.
Oh, I know. No, I know.
Where
Yes,
you
there
can
is.
love your
Yes.
submissive and not actually, be mean to them.
Yeah.
Unless they need it. Like for
Yeah.
example, I know Roscoe's in chat.
spanking.
He'll hear
Collars are
this.
super good. Yeah, spankings
Yeah,
indeed. Yeah.
like if Roscoe, I love Roscoe to death, and I love my
Don't
other
remind
two
me
as
of-
well.
You.
But I
I'm not-
don't
I won't feel
punish
any of your
unless they
wrath.
misbehave.
You will
If they
feel my
do
wrath.
something really bad, I will punish them. But other than that, I treat them almost as if they were my partner. Did you lose audio or?
Collars
No,
are
it's still
very
there.
cute. I love people.
Just,
I love people who
You
have
went
collars
quiet.
and stuff. It's so.
no, I was
it looks
listening.
so
I was
good.
just listening.
Yeah.
That
But
that was something else I wanted to bring up too. Was and this
Oh,
was
if
something that
anybody
you
if
said,
anybody has
Crimson.
questions in the chat that you guys want to be,
when it comes to
be my
that,
big mouth.
go ahead and put them in the chat.
You said that
do
you have five
highlight
people. Now,
your
I have,
questions.
there's always a good side and a bad side to every
I want to see
situation.
yours, Hunter. I
before
love
we
people
get
who wear
into
collars.
The
I love people who
BDSM
wear
side of
collars.
things. But anyways,
So,
Oh no.
collars are
Oh
always good.
boy.
We're gonna have to
when it
do an
comes-
after dark version of this podcast.
well, I mean, it is. This is the nit and gritty. But
Yeah.
anyways, when you were talking about numbers, you
So, yeah,
got,
if
in
you guys
your
have
little
questions,
group, you
feel
have
free to put your
basically
questions
a
in
split, so
that
to
you guys
speak.
may have,
You got
and,
3 and 2, but
highlight the
altogether
question
you
as
got
well.
5.
Use your channel points
But
to
you
highlight
guys
the
can
question so I can
split into
see the
your separate
questions.
numbers, and that's the
I
way
see.
your love goes, I guess. And I can see, I can understand that sort of polyamorous relationship. You do have a lot of love. You brought a mention of boredom. Is the good side of polyamorous,
Hi, Squeaky.
I can see,
I'm doing okay.
is that you do love more than one person, as long as everybody else is involved and the communication's open. The bad side of polyamorous relationships is nothing but fuck buddies. You get bored of one fuck buddy, and you gain another fuck buddy. Or you get bored of this person, and you want to go sleep with somebody else. And you're just constantly pulling people into this group so that you can just pick and choose who you're sleeping with that night. Now, I have seen situations where some people do open poly relationships in VRC, because
Yeah.
things can happen in VRC. There's the light side where all the kids play and all that stuff, and then there's the dark side that I've seen a lot of stuff since I've started playing.
Yeah.
But there's also those cases. I do have a lot of respect for your group of 5. I do know the 2 people that are engaged. I think I know. I have an idea. We all
Same.
talked
So.
and chatted when we were in
Same.
that room.
I think I know too.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to name drop. That's all I'm trying to do, especially to those who are not
Understandable.
currently here.
Understandable, and I love them to death. They're great people, absolutely.
Oh,
great
they are.
people.
They're
Oh, yeah.
sweethearts.
And then I've seen other people who was a member of our gaming community that took VRC into nothing but I guess you'd call it a sexual playground.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happened? Did your stream crash?
It's still going for me.
I don't think
No,
so.
never mind.
I'm
It's
looking
still
at it.
going for me.
Never mind.
It's a little bit laggy,
Just
but yeah,
hit-
it's still
No,
going.
it's just your chat sitting right here, and all of a sudden it just disappeared. So I'm like, did it crash and shut down, or what?
So
No, you're good. It's still going.
Thank you, Rudy, for the follow.
But yeah, no joke. I totally see
Anyway.
that. I've seen that side too, where the people they just make a poly just so they can have different fuck buddies to do whatever they want to do and stuff. And I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Like I think poly, if you're gonna have
If
a
you're
poly,
just wanting fuck buddies, just be single and just sleep with whoever you want.
exactly,
at that point.
exactly. You don't need to call it a poly
how I
if you
see
just
it,
want
yep.
if you just want
Yep.
fuck buddies. But like. For especially for those who are actually want poly, they have it so they can have, you know, true love with multiple people that they connect with. For me, it's like I have a girl, so I'm not gonna bring another girlfriend into the relationship. I already have a girl. If I'm gonna bring somebody into a relationship, it's gonna be a guy, because I'm bisexual, so I like both sides. So I'll be adding a guy to it, and like at worst, if like we want to add another guy to it, we can. But like that's why I was talking about. I have a limit. I don't want to have too many people because then it's just gonna look like I have different options just so I can fuck around. That's not how I am. I want to have people who I actually truly love, and I want to give them a piece of my heart to, and like actually care for them and keep them around, and you know. I love all my friends. I give, like, Krim can see it, Derry can see it, you could probably see it. Like, everybody who I interact with and have become friends with you, I love you guys all to death, and I want you guys all around me as much as I can. And, like, you know, I want to take care of everybody as much as I can and make sure everybody's okay. But I do get it that, you know, sometimes, you know, you can't do that. You can't take care of everybody. And so, like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, everybody who was my friend become a poly with me. No, and that because poly is a sacred. It's like I see it as a sacred thing. It's your love connection, your bond of those you want, your partners.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want you as a fuck buddy, I'm gonna be straightforward and be like, look, I like you a lot as a friend, and I want you as a friend with benefits. That's it. I'm not gonna sit there and poke around the bush. I'm not gonna poke around the bush and be like, let's become a thing so I can keep you around. But then you're gonna end up seeing that that's not the truth. That's not the true thing. Every time you have an intent, that will come to light at words. That's exactly what's the poly is. If you're not in it for the actual poly relationship, it will show up later, and that poly will crash and burn because of it. You know, so it's like you got to be truthful with yourself. I'm not gonna sit here and hide
Exactly.
stuff.
I think that
Poly is, supposed to be reserved for people that you love and cherish, that you want to keep with you forever. If you're just wanting a fuck buddy, then poly's not. How do you do that? Just become friends with benefits, or just remain single for the rest of your life. Doesn't bother me much.
Yeah,
I love all
when
you
I first
guys.
came into VRC, I would spend anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day in VRC. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it way too much. And, you know, when the world that I kind of came into, and I'm not going to name drop either, but the group of people that I kind of came into, about the same time I kind of joined Axel's group.
Flirting is nice.
more
No,
of
flirting
the
is nice.
Open
indeed.
and
Like, I do like flirting
BDSM
and stuff.
side of situations. You know, like I've seen worlds that I can't mention here because it would probably
Thank you for the
break
bang.
a lot of rules. And I found out that they're avatars
Yeah, gravity.
that
Definitely.
have the full anatomy. People have added stuff like magnets to fit it to certain body parts. You know, how graphically intensive these
So yeah, if you
avatars
guys,
are
I see your question,
to be able
Hunter.
to fit in
If you
certain
guys have any
situations like that.
questions,
That's why I
highlight
kinda
your
brought up that
question. So if
was
you have
for
questions
that
about the
idea
topics that we've
you
been talking
have
about
poly
so
for
far,
love, and then you have
please put them
poly
in the chat
for,
and
let's see how
highlight
many
your
people I
questions,
can sleep with.
so I can let them
So
know.
it's
and
definitely
See,
Yeah,
I
put
would
it in
never,
put the
I would
questions
never
in.
call that poly. Poly is not see how many you can sleep with. That's not what poly
See,
is.
that would be a
Hi,
friends
Jake.
with benefit kind of thing, and that's how I would see it, honestly.
I
I'm
wouldn't
glad you
call
took
that
some
being a
me time
poly. At
today,
that
Jake,
point,
and
they
you did
just want to whore themselves out and don't want to say they want to whore themselves out.
Hi, Hidden. How you doing?
That is true. I can understand, you know, especially when you're in a
And
younger
gravity,
crowd.
I can put in the word
When
to
you are
Joker.
younger, your hormones are all
see,
over the place.
Have you as a guest
and
on
when
his
when you
podcast.
come into a situation like VRC, where
I'm
the
still looking forward to
options
your
just
podcast,
go
Gravity.
nuts. And speaking of sound effects, thank you, Rudy.
Well, that was rude.
Whoa, You didn't. Han, you didn't.
I did.
No, that's fair.
I did.
Oh,
I
that's
said that to
That's
Axel
fair.
earlier too.
That's
Oh,
fair.
Lord Almighty.
Gotta make the time.
Joker, you there? Oh no, I think he crashed.
Let's
Oh,
hope he
no.
didn't crash. No, his chat, his stream's still good going. So let's.
Oh, but I'm
hope.
looking at the player though. It's lagging.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I think it crashed.
Oh no. What a timing. Oh,
That is a horrible time for.
there's a
crow.
snapback. There's a snapback. It's trying. It's trying.
There's the concussion.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh,
Hi.
we
Oh,
hear you
there we
now.
go. Okay. Okay. Oh my god. It was horrible. I saw a deep dark hole and I didn't know if I was able to escape. As I was going to say, right before the lag just about killed me, I have somebody in my chat. His name is Rudy Raccoon. This kind of podcast idea was something that I brought up to him a while ago to do with him. So whenever he has open time, he is going to be a co-host.
Nice.
And yes,
Oh.
Rudy, we love you.
Love you, Rudy.
Well, that was rude.
He's been really busy. And I
More like
So he
rudely
has-
busy.
Okay, you on the bed?
really busy, yes. So
Right.
he hasn't been
Love you.
able to join.
That's fair.
But there's okay. The stream's lagging like crazy too. Oh no, it should be fine.
No, it's just the one that's on the player right now. That's all.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just
Okay.
on the player. It's fine.
All right.
Someone kicked Gary from the instance.
Axel did. Axel.
Sorry, Axel, but it was deserved.
Lag on damn life support.
But yeah, anybody in chat, if you
Yes.
have a question you want to ask us, highlight it in chat. We'll answer that.
Yes, and I will definitely try to get to mine if
Gravity
I
wants
look
to-
at die.
Do a podcast with you at some point too, so
Yeah, he wants
we
to
may
be
have more
on it.
people wanting to join.
Excellent. Always
I
loving
need to do. I need to
them,
bring
asking
back
the hard
mine, to be
questions.
honest.
Yeah.
I need to bring back mine.
I've thought about doing the same actually, starting my own podcast as well.
I have one with a friend.
Well,
but we
mine
haven't
was not like a
recorded.
podcast. Mine was more like a Q&A kind of session thing.
That's fair.
Yeah, we need to do that. Yes, Grav.
There was another question I was going to ask about
God damn it, Jake.
the poly thing, but the
Jake
black
underscore
hole was
D0
lag
just
death.
cheered
I think
100.
knocked
Thank
it
you,
out of my
Jake.
brain. Oh, that's right. This is what it is. All right. Is there a leader in your group?
I mean, we can.
Does
we
a
can.
poly relationship have a leader or a set of leaders?
That's actually a good question. That's a really good question. So,
I'd have to say, like, for ours specifically, I would have to say, like, whoever the engaged to, whoever wears the pants in that relationship is one of the leaders. And then for the other three, whoever wears the pants would be the other leader. That makes sense. But at the same time, that's a trick question, because I don't feel like there's really a leader in the relationship. I think we're all equals. I don't think any of us have any more power than the other. And that's how I've always treated all my relationships. Even if I was dating a girl, I wouldn't see myself over the girl. We both have equal power, and that's the same with any relationship that I'm a part of. Specifically, it doesn't matter If I'm with 2 or 4 or 10, for God's sakes, never going to happen. That's too many. But we would all be equal in like decision making, choices, things like that. I don't really would say there was a leader in our poly.
Yeah, I can agree to that too. It's like only time where you'll find a poly where there's like a designated leader really is like if everybody in the poly says, hey, look, we like the way you run, you have the leadership skills or whatnot, and like they specifically say, hey, I just want you to kind of make the choices for the whole poly thing. But that's depends on, that's where the communication comes in, where you're communicating, these are the ground rules we want. You know, hey, I want you to bleed this. But most of the time, most polys, like in my eyes too, it's like it's literally everybody's equal. Everybody makes their own the decision and agrees upon stuff together. Only time where you don't is like if that person's like, hey, just make the choice. I don't feel like making the choice today. Or, you know, or in this certain situation, you make the choice. I don't want to make the choice. Because my mate has done that a couple times. Where she's like, hey, I want you to make a couple choices. I just don't know what I want right now. My mind's all over the place. So just take charge, make the couple choices for me, please. That's in that case. But
Okay.
like, there's no really designated leader. Really, everybody's equal.
So the only thing I will say on that, and this is a problem I have with my family, is if it comes to like you asking where you want to eat and I hear one person in the poly go, I don't know where you want to go, I'm stepping up and be like, bitch, I'm making this decision. I'm not doing this.
You know what? If it was me, I would say I don't care. I just want food.
My family and I, we are horrible at this. They will get us all together in the room and be like, figure out what you want to eat, and every one of them will go, I don't know, what do you want to eat? I don't know, what are you in the mood
That's
for? And I'm
funny,
just like,
Jake.
I am not doing this. You guys figure out something, I'll be in my room. Because there was a day I wanted to buy food for the family.
Oh, boy.
I wanted to buy something out.
Yeah, I
my
hated
first
too.
paycheck, because I was excited, it was, the whole 9 yards. And I asked them, pick a place. And they started doing I don't know, what do you want? I'm like, you have 5 seconds to make a choice or I'm picking for everyone. And I guarantee you, they made a choice.
So
Listen,
yeah.
I'm that type of person, and I'm like, just pick something, and I don't care. Just get something that's good at least. I don't care.
And yeah, like things like that. That's where I will be like, you know what? Fuck all y'all. I love you all, but I am making this choice. We're not playing this 20 question game.
And so yeah, no, it's the leader situation comes into play depending on the situation, but like as a poly as a whole, there is technically no leader. Technically no leader.
Mm-hmm. The only way I could actually see a poly having a leader is if the poly was like a master sub type of situation where there's one master or 2 masters, and the rest of the poly are the submissives. In that case, it would be the masters who would be the leaders in that poly. But for normal circumstances, no, there's no leader.
Okay. Do you think that somebody or a couple people, depending on the size of the group, if there was a leadership in the group, do you think it would be more beneficial for the group instead of having everybody being equal?
Well, I mean, as we all stated earlier, communication is the biggest thing here. If the poly thinks that there needs to be somebody in charge, or like somebody making, I don't know, financial decisions or, budget decisions or things like that, then, I mean, you'd have to communicate with your group. Make sure that it's something that not only the group wants, but they are okay with whoever's being put in charge. I mean, I, for one, wouldn't want someone with poor financial decisions being the leader of the financial side. So there has to be community. I don't want to sit there and be like, have like, I don't know, let's say someone with a mind of a 2-year-old going, oh, money, let's go spend it.
Yeah.
AKA Jake. Um,
Jake is catching shots.
sorry,
Jake is catching
Jake.
shots. He said, "Wow." He said, "Wow."
I love you. So, I mean, you wouldn't want somebody with poor decision making in that specific category to be the leader. So, communication is always key.
So yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
depends.
do agree. And in most, and even in monogamous relationships, you always hear the adage, you know, happy wife, happy life, or the man wears pants in the family, but the wife tells him what pair. So, I mean, out of those two things, you always know who actually runs the household. But it's always seen as the man because he's the one that's bringing, you know, out of traditionalism,
Yeah,
he's the one that brings home the bacon, he brings home the money. It's just the wife who tells him how to spend it.
yeah,
See, the
So-
thing is with that, though, is that is like an old 80s, like 60s to 80s era tradition. The times have changed. It's not the
Jake.
woman that, you know, granted, you know, some women still want to live that lifestyle, and that's fine. I'm not judging them. But it's the ones who assume that the woman's a stay-at-home, the male is the one that goes to work. That's not how things should be. I feel like, you know, all relationships are a two-way street. It can't be one-sided. It can't be, no, honey, you're staying here, you're taking care of the house, and I'm going to go work. That's not how relationships should work. Never should have been that way. But unfortunately, back in the, you know, 60s through 80s era, that's kind of how it was. And because of that, this generation has been raised by their parents raised in that era, that that's how it needs to be done, and that's not right.
I think there's benefits to both sides. You know, I think there's pluses and minuses to both of them. You know, and
Yeah.
and even in a monogamous relationship, you don't see an overwhelming ruler or leadership role. You know, depending on the times, it's usually the two people, and especially if they work well together. But there are some times, and there are some instances where one person, like you mentioned, you would never let somebody take care of money situations. But that person might be awesome in a different situation.
Yeah.
I think that
Exactly.
during certain times, a leadership role should be not maybe brought up in communication, but somebody should take control of the situation to fix the situation.
Which
Because I
does
think if
happen.
everybody was created equal and they're all on each other and everybody's trying to get a word in, there's no communication, and communication breaks down at that point.
Yeah.
But if you have a problem or a situation and somebody takes the leadership role and comes in and goes, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to fix it, but they're a good leadership and they go, how would you guys think of this? Or what is your opinion on this? This is how we should take care of it. Then that, you know, that may help in a group situation.
Yeah. Which is what's going to happen mostly, depending on the situation. Somebody will become a leader, depending on what the situation that's going or the conversation that's being talked about. Because there's been plenty of times where I've seen where people are like, "Oh, none of us are leaders really," but then when they go into account, depending on the situation, one person steps up, and everybody's like, "Okay, what's your idea?" And everybody looks towards that person, and it's like, "Okay, so that you can basically say that person's kind of the leader for certain situations." So there are polys that will have that. It's just that it's most of the time that most people are just going to be, we're all technically involved in a leader-wise, but situational-wise, there will always be a leader that will pop up, depending on the situation.
Like, for example, me, I'm really good with mediation and getting people to de-escalate a situation. So if I see someone in our poly, for example, getting escalated, I'd step in and be like, hey, take a deep breath, go take a breather, come back to this in a minute, after we've all calmed down. And he knows that. He knows that I'm good at mediating. I think I've actually had to do it once in his community before, I think. Could be wrong. It might not have been of his, but it might have been someone else's. But, so in that situation, since I'm good at playing counselor, that's where I would come in as a leader. I would step in and get it to calm down. So yeah, like you said, there's certain situations where a leader will arise per se, not be dedicated.
Yeah.
But let me just say this for mediation's sake, we are not your marriage counselors. We are not your your health professionals.
I am not a licensed professional. I just get come to because friends trust me enough. I don't know why.
Plus experience.
I literally in high school. Well, no. What's worse is in high school, I was so well known as the school counselor that my friends would come to me instead of the actual counselor.
Hold on, Crib. So let me explain this more in detail. People, there's a lot of people that come into chats and say, "Oh, I'm having a really rough day. I'm very sad. I'm very, I want to go, blah blah blah." I'm like, go get help. We're not your marriage counselors. We're not your
therapists,
your mental health assistant people. We don't have the help.
You're suffering from mental health and you want advice from somebody else who's suffering mental health, who only acts as a counselor on TV.
A lot of times that's what it boils down to. I mean, even in a poly relationship, once you get close enough to somebody and you know that they have the same problems, it's a lot easier to go to that person.
Yeah.
So, and I do understand that does, that kind of brings up the whole other thing with what we talked about in the beginning of the show.
Don't worry. As long as you guys have your questions highlighted, I'll be able to get to them. So I'm going to scroll back through chat
like I said,
to get to
use
those questions.
mental instability
So I will
as
get
an
to your
excuse
questions.
or a crutch. Where they come in specifically just to go, my life is shit. I'm just going to go and blow it all off on people around me, and then I'm just going to go out and live my life. There are people like that.
Yeah.
That come into VRC and just expect the people around them to basically drama dump on, and then they go and then they live their life, and that's what they're used for. I've been used in that situation in VRC, and I distance myself from people like that. If I'm going to help somebody with a mental problem or a problem period, if they're not willing to help themselves and they keep getting in the same situation over and over again, that's where I stop. That's where I go, okay, well, if you're not going to learn from the first, second, 50th time you made the same mistake, then apparently you're not going to stop making a mistake, and I'm tired of hearing about the same damn thing over and over and over again.
Yep.
So
that's fair.
I mean, that's in a poly relationship, that's as a group. I mean, I think it's a lot easier to deal with people that have the same problem too.
Yeah, but at the same time, it can also be detrimental to the relationship.
Yeah, it's highlighted, Hunter.
More than one person in the relationship suffer from the same mental. There's literally no nice way of saying it. Mental instability or mental issues. I mean, if you have two people that have depression in a relationship, and normally, one of those two is usually helping the other, and vice versa. But what happens if both of them suffer a major depressive episode, and the other three what do I do? we don't know how to deal with this. So it can be difficult to deal with as well, but it does help when people in the poly do have similarities like that.
To some extent, yeah.
Because at least it makes it easier. Yes, it makes it easier to understand and comprehend the heaviness of the situation.
I'll be right back. I have to deal with a cat that's meowing at my door.
Oh boy.
All right. And I got a question from Kindle while he deals with the cat.
Whenever you run out of
he
questions.
brought up an interesting question.
I have 3.
We also have a couple.
Okay. The question from Kindle is, if the relationship goes deeper, and this is kind of interesting too. You got 5 people in your poly relationship.
Yes, at the moment.
Are you as deep emotionally with everyone the same?
So, okay, I'm not gonna lie. There's only one person who I'm not that emotionally connected with yet, but the rest of them are. I'm trying to get to know the fifth person better because I've met them through someone who I care about. But at the same time, I'm trying to get that. I mean, I do care about them. Don't get me wrong. And I'm just trying to gain that emotional bond like I gained with the other four. Or the other three, sorry. I'm counting myself. Yeah, I love myself way too much. It's fine. Yeah, so... Because I see the question that you were talking about, especially in regards to, like, marriage, too. So I actually did some research on this due to that fifth person feeling like a third wheel and the double poly, basically, I guess you can call it. There is not actually a single state within the US that actually legalizes polyamorous relationships. So the only way to be able to have that type of a relationship would be either a private person, like, for example, like myself. I'm actually ordained as a minister to be able to perform weddings, but it won't be state recognized.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. But as I've also told, that fifth person, it's just like, you don't need a piece of paper to have that love. The only thing that piece of paper does is gives you more tax benefits at the end of the year, or allows you to share properties, or that kind of thing. But there's no reason for a piece of paper to show how much you love somebody.
Yeah, there really isn't.
If
Exactly.
you want to propose to all four of your partners with just getting on your knees with
Taxes.
4 rings for each of them, then
Taxes.
that's all you need. Why do you need the state to tell you whether or not you love somebody? Especially when half the time most marriages end up in divorce.
Yeah,
which is expensive.
you don't need the state
That is
confirmation.
true.
You do not need a state confirmation to be like, hey, you love this person, you guys are a thing. No, the state does not need to be your confirmation for that at all. That's just them
And
taking more
besides,
money
like
from
I said,
you.
the only thing exactly the only thing that does is lets you file married jointly with taxes, or get a car loan or something. There's not many benefits to a marriage certificate.
Nah.
You do have that point. Yep. I do
yeah.
see it that way.
I make the same point with college degrees. I went to college for 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah. It sounds
for
like how,
game
yeah, it's
programming and
it is
development, because I wanted to start my own game studio here in my local state. But over time, I was failing because, math is a pain in the ass, and I hate it with a fiery passion. I couldn't pass my classes because I couldn't pass my math course. So I dropped out, and I was, sitting there. I'm just like, why do I need $38,000 in debt and a piece of paper just to prove I know what the hell I'm doing?
They actually had colleges in Idaho?
No, I actually. So yes, we do. We do have colleges out here. They're not the best, but I actually was studying online at Southern New Hampshire University. So that's where I was studying. But
Out
yeah.
of state. I can understand that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's not much out in Idaho except for potatoes, right?
What happened to this being a pod? Now this is becoming a roast creme day. Okay, this way. I'm just gonna...
If the
Yeah.
opportunity presents itself, I can't help it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
What are you gonna attack the host? What are you gonna attack him? Is that what you're trying to do?
No,
Please don't
I
throw
accidentally hit the
potatoes.
seat button.
Yeah.
This isn't Jerry Springer, okay?
But I
This isn't
agree
Judge Judy.
that the connection, having the connection between your partners is definitely part of it. You need it. And like if
I'm
I
gonna take
had
care of my puppy
multiple
later.
partners, I would definitely make sure I had a deep connection with each and every one of them, because that just helps strengthen the bond and will make the poly even stronger. So you have the connection, you have the similarities, you have the bond, the communication, all that together wrapped in. You have a poly that's probably gonna survive freaking Armageddon at that point, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. You guys had questions from your chat?
Yeah, I have 3 questions. Let me scroll back to get to the first one.
I'll let you do your thing. I can't find it anymore.
I would turn my head a little bit more to look at the other screen, but every time I look at that, apparently my
computer doesn't like it.
decides to tell me to back off. Yeah.
Oh, you know what I think it might be?
The multiple screens.
You've got this. No, you've got the TV player doing a infinite screen loop. So it's his stream is picking up this, which is picking up the video player, causing the infinite loop. That could be
causing the infinite loop. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
We can turn that off if you want. Oh,
it allows me to see my chat though.
Yeah.
Even if it is a little lag behind, because like I said, if I try to open anything
Hunter,
up,
your
and even
first
on the index headset, if you press the button, you can get the thing.
Your
to pop
first
up.
question was what is a
even
big
that
pet
dies,
peeve
and that kills my headset
in the furry community, right, Hunter?
Okay, that's fair.
Was that your first question that you did?
We need to get you an upgrade.
Okay, the first question.
I already know one.
The first question that disappeared.
The graphics card.
It probably is. The first question that Hunter had did, but he did a second one as well, was what is the biggest pet peeve you have of the furry community right now? So dealing with the mental health and stuff. What's the biggest pet peeve?
Oh, the biggest pet peeve. Oh boy. I could say so many different pet peeves, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
No, go
I
ahead.
think for me, yeah. Personally, for me, I don't really have a lot of pet peeves minus 2. That's the trauma dumping, where they come in and just drop their entire fucking past 30 years worth of trauma into your chat or something, or just in your ear in general, or lying. Those are my biggest 2. I'm not getting mad at people for telling me, I've had a shitty day, my boss did this. That's not trauma dumping. I'm okay with that because, especially me, I usually ask, how was your day? But it's when they drop 30 years worth of issues and, daddy issues or mommy issues onto your lap, and you're just like, oh, okay, that's too much. I gotta go to bed. Bye.
Yeah.
But other than that, especially when it comes to mental health, though, my other biggest is using mental health as an excuse for treating people like shit. That's not okay.
What about you, Derry?
Oh boy, drama is the number 1 biggest pet peeve for me. I hate drama. Drama is annoying as hell.
Yeah,
I hate it with a passion. Every time I see something involving a furry with drama, I'm like, just shut up!
Every time I'm on Twitter and I see drama, it's just like, nope, not interacting. I'm gonna keep scrolling. We're not getting involved.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree that my biggest pet peeve is drama.
Axel.
It's definitely drama because it's just.
Oh, that's how you really feel?
It's
Axel! You want to know how I really feel? You want to know how I really feel? You want to know how I really feel about that?
Oh boy, that opened a can of worms.
You want to know how I feel? Every time I see drama, I'm just like, just shut up and get the fuck along.
Fucking soup. I felt that.
I don't like drama either. I've unfortunately been wrapped up in some drama, just not fully towards me, just more of like the surrounding. I'm like
The group.
I'm the casualty in that drama war basically, and I hate it. I hate drama with a passion. I try to avoid drama, like. That's why I do things. That's why for me, for when I stream and do talk to people or anything like that or interact with people, you get me. You don't get a side character. You don't get my alter ego. You don't get anything else from me. You get me. I'm giving you what I do on camera and what I do off camera. You get my personality. You get only me. So this way, whenever you meet me or interact with me, there's no bullshit of you're two-faced or you're this, that, and the third. But it's like no, but I'm giving you myself. I'm not giving you anybody else. I'm giving you myself. So like drama is so annoying. It's too much energy wasted on drama and too much time wasted on that shit. I hate it with a passion. It's a big pet peeve. What about you, Joker?
I'm right there with you. The whole fucking drama thing, like the trauma dumping. It's a constant thing. Like I said, I've had instances where I've had one person who like it's just a revolving door of the same mistake over and over and over again, and it's just like, just shut up, stop doing the same stupid shit over again, and you'll be fine. You'll be set.
Yeah.
Just
one more thing on that actually. My biggest pet peeve, especially when it involves drama, is when people complain about a certain individual that is causing drama, but refuses to block them.
Or to confront them.
I think
Or to confront them.
Yes,
yeah.
You both know exactly what I'm talking about here. Like, dude, if they're causing drama and you're not liking it, block them.
Yeah. This is why God invented the block
button. And another question for this one's from Gravity Blue Wolf. My question: if there's someone who has not dated in a long time, joins a poly relationship, but has not experienced love from other person from a past relationship that hurts them a lot. So I'm assuming, like, basically, if they haven't received...
Going from a used relationship to a whole lot of love relationship?
Yeah, basically, I think that's what he's trying to say, yeah.
Okay. So, Gravity, just from personal, like, experiences, I've been in a situation where one of my exes had abused me and was berating me, degrading me, the whole 9 yards. And to go from that to another relationship where I was loved, cared for, it was difficult. It was definitely not a overnight thing. It took a couple weeks, if not months, to be able to build that trust again. But it was working out for a little bit on that relationship. The only reason why it didn't was I'm
gonna hurt you, Jake.
It's
hard
to talk about
to catch up.
It was distance related, and not long after he passed. Sorry. Anyway, my point is it can work. You can overcome the problems of coming from a used relationship to a love relationship. It will just take time. It's going to take a lot of time to heal from that.
Yeah, it's a process.
Yeah,
but just gotta try and remind yourself that you're receiving proper love. It's not the same, like how you were dealing with last time. It's gonna take time to open up and understand that, and get your mind to say, hey, this is actual love that's coming towards me. But you kind of need to keep working towards it and remind yourself that this is love. This is actual. There are people who actually care about me. I'm not alone no more. I'm not by myself. You have people who care about you. So like that's something that definitely have to try and remind yourself about.
Sometimes that can be difficult, especially if you're if you're so used to being in
That type of
used to
environment.
being in yeah the abusive, and it's not just physically abusive, it's also mental or being mental abuse too.
Emotional.
There's
Yeah.
emotional
The
abuse.
emotional and yeah.
There's so many ways that you can be abused in a relationship, and you might not even see it at first.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times you don't see it, and then it just slowly grabs you, and it's harder to get away from that
I mean,
situation.
hell, with that relationship that I was in, I wasn't seeing it, even though everyone kept telling me, dude, he's abusing you. He's treating you like crap. He's cheating on you. And I'm just like, no, he loves me. And I was blind. And I'm not going to lie. It took me doing something to actually acknowledge what was going on and to see everything that was going on. Because as somebody with ADHD, my mind goes a mile a minute. And this specific
you
cigarette,
had
I'm just gonna say it that way.
he had his third eye opened when he did the cigarette. He had his third eye open.
That's a way to put it. Yeah, so I had my third eye opened, and I was able to, like, flashback to everything that he did to me, and I'm just like, oh my god, he was abusive, and was sitting there with the ring box in hand going, oh my god, was I really about to fucking propose? Fuck that, get out of here. So, I mean, sometimes it takes extreme measures for someone to actually acknowledge what they're going through. Some maybe, opening the third eye. Some maybe having the sense beat into them. So, we're furries. We bap the shit out of each other. Sometimes that's all it takes.
You mean like that? It's like bat.
So it's difficult to see when you're in the situation, but it's even harder when you're hearing everyone around you tell you what's going on, and you're like, no, that's not true. He loves me. And then, find out later that they were all right and have to go back to them and be like, I wish I would have listened to you sooner, because you were right.
Yeah.
He was being this way.
Yeah, and that's a hard part I've seen, and that's normal in a lot of relationships too. Is that there's always you always have you always have that situation where you can't see what's happening to you while you're in it. It's always the people that are on the outside who see it.
Yeah.
Or people that have experienced that specific situation.
Oh yes. Or helped other people out of situations like that. Sometimes it's hard. It's definitely not an easy situation to be in, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
On either end, being the one to inform them or being the one that's in it. It's neither hide on either side.
Oh yeah.
And
I agree.
The last question is, what is the main primary motivation for being polyamorous, or being a poly, or to continue it basically as well? So what's the main motivation of being in it and also continuing it? This was by Hunter.
That one I can't answer. That one I can't answer because I'm still learning about it. So
I may be still learning about it, but my only way to answer that is love. If you're in a monogamous relationship, you're only allowed to give your love to one person. And people like me who have, huge hearts and want to help others and, be caring to other people, we can't do that one person love thing. We'd have to have multiple that we can care for. Because not only does it help us, like, for example, people like me that have the big hearts, it doesn't just help us to be able to give our love to more than one person, but it also satisfies a psychological need to be there for other people. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I wish I could just give my love to everybody, but yeah, I mean, even I have limits. I can't give it to everybody. I've tried.
Yeah. For me,
I've tried to just be around everybody.
For me, the motivation there is basically what most of it's what Krim said. The love of giving love to multiple people. It's like I want to be able to do that. And like, if you're in a poly, the motivation is you want to make sure your poly is going good. You want to give the love to all your partners properly. You want to make sure everybody's okay and happy, smiling. Like my girlfriend, she knows that even though we're in an open relationship, that I will still jump in front of a train for her or bury somebody for her, because I still have the love for her. I'm not gonna give my heart to other people in the poly and then leave other people out of it. I'm gonna give it equally to everybody who's in the relationship with me, because I love them all dearly. If I put you in my relationship, that means I'm going to fucking die for you. I will go to war. I will literally pick up arms for you, and I will drop a lot of people. I will put bodies in the pathway to make sure that you're okay and that you're safe and that you're happy and that, you know, everything's good. I will scorch earth if I have to for my partners. I will watch the world burn for my partner if I have to.
Everybody within my poly, including him and the others, are aware that I am the kind of person who would be willing to go to prison for you.
Yeah.
I know a couple people that have to deal with like controlling parents or even religious nut jobs sometimes that I've had to deal with too. I've told these friends, I'm just like, if you have any issues or if they try to send you to somewhere special camp, I told them I will steal my mother's vehicle. I will hijack every car, truck, or plane from here to there to get your ass. They're not going anywhere. I would go to prison for this. So everybody that I am not poly with, I would do that for. I will hijack planes. I will rob banks. Whatever it takes to get to them, I will do that. That's the kind of person I am.
And I'm gonna reiterate on that a bit more. It's like, I will do that, but I won't do it blindly. So what I mean by not do it blindly,
there has to be some kind of proof.
I will have to know that there is proof that you are. Of course, I'm going to take your side, but I'm going to make sure that there's proof before I do anything that's going to be like any repercussions to anybody. Because I want to make sure that I'm just not blindly following my partner and they're being an absolute complete dickhead, you know, to other people, or you know, they're not causing issues, because, you know, it is, you're supposed to follow your partner. You're supposed to, you know, have your partner's back no matter what, but you need to also make sure that your partner's not being a complete idiot out in the world, because it's gonna make both of you look like idiots. So, you know, if you have multiple partners in the poly and stuff, you have to make sure that, you know, they're in the right. So this way, when you go to scorch earth, I can't English right now. If you have to go to burn everything for them, that you're doing it because they are correct, not because they are in the wrong. That is the limit to that right there. They have to be correct.
Exactly.
Before I go and do anything. So.
Yeah, especially if I violated like 20 state laws, I know I'm doing the right thing.
20 different laws, Jesus.
Yeah, speeding, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, yeah. You were gonna say, Joker?
Depending on who the car I'm taking from, maybe murder.
Only if you run people down. But just don't transfer bodies across state lines. That's even worse. That's
I would just make sure to find a local bridge and just drive the car off there.
Stop incriminating yourselves right now and giving away what your plans will be. Don't incriminate your.
FBI is watching Twitch. This is purely entertainment purpose only. We're just joking.
Yeah. The FBI is watching this.
Mastermind ways of robbing banks. But anyways,
yeah, totally haven't taken notes from GTA 5. It's fine.
Yeah.
But for you, Joker.
When it comes to, like I said, I was on the, you know, when I first brought it up, I was on the fence with it. You know, I think if I was going to ever enter a poly relationship, of course, you know, it's a little bit different for me because of the fact that I am what you would call a hard dom.
Shut up, Jake. You too.
So, for me, a poly relationship would be adding submissives into my relationship, or starting a relationship with submissives, more than one. That would be my idea of a poly relationship. But I'm also on that side too, where that if I'm going to add somebody into a relationship like that with me, my heart's in it.
Yeah.
You know, because in that type of world, you got for now, and then you got a permanent type of situation, a permanent submissive, and then that's when all those specialized beautiful collars come into play.
Yeah.
But I think I could probably do it if it was in that situation and I had maybe at most 2 others.
And that's fair.
So it'd be 3 of us total. I don't think I can go any more than that, because it's hard enough to deal with one female. Just to be generalistic. Nothing against anybody. And I'm sorry, sis, I know you're listening, but it's hard enough to deal with one female. I don't know if I can handle any more than that.
That's fair.
I
can
think
respect
Joker's
that.
about to get canceled.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Same.
And that brings up a point for me as like, from when I do my poly or anything like that, it's like I'm a switch, so I go both ways. So for me, it's like I'm looking for somebody who can either be submissive and dominant, or if they're gonna be submissive, then I kind of might have to get somebody else who could be dominant more for that's it, because I want both sides. I like to be dominant, I like to be submissive. If that person can do both, even better. They can fit that role for me and stuff like that. But if I have to get another extra person,
there won't need to be a 4th involved.
Exactly, and there won't be need a 4th involved. But if I have to get a 4th to be able to help with that other side, then I will. But I will only do it if my heart is also in it. If my heart's not in it, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it just so I can fill that empty space. My heart has to want you to do that. It's a major part of it.
And that's the big thing with me too. Even though I'm a part of that type of situation, I'm all for having fun in that community. But I won't even sleep with somebody unless I'm involved with them.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't do the whole one night stand thing. I mean, you can go and play and still be a hard dom or a soft dom or however you want to be, and still not have intercourse in that sort of situation. So
yeah.
But it just depends, everybody's different when they're that type of situation too.
Looking at your chat.
Yeah, looking at the last 2 questions Rudy put up.
Yeah, the personality.
I think there was another one in there too, so I think there's like 3.
I usually just tell.
Yeah, there was 3.
I was telling them to highlight the message. Just use channel points to highlight it. It makes it easier to find the question better.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at this, but I can't trust it because of the
behind.
lag time and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure. The first one that Rudy asked was if there was any social media specifically for the furry community, and Kendall kind of answered that with Blue Sky. I think Blue Sky is an alternative, not only to X, but to alternative lifestyle.
Yeah.
But in a sensible kind of way, you still got some people who do come over to Blue Sky and still cause drama.
I'm already on it. Sorry, I'm talking to Finn.
Oh. Gotcha.
Your chat, I was asking for it, and I've already got it.
It should be in the he should be in the title. You should be able to just pop over right there. He should be in the title.
Oh, is it?
I know I added Joker in the title.
And all of you are on Blue Sky, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm on Blue Sky.
I am, yes. I'm not active on it too much, but I try to be.
I'm not active on it very
you're on your
much, though.
phone. Okay, he's on his phone, so send him the link.
I think I have to, what I have to do is I'll have to add you on. I'm on it maybe once a month.
Same. I'm barely on Blue Sky.
That's as far as I get on there. I think I've come on more lately just to put up the fact of the podcast, and that's about it.
Yeah.
The only time that I'm usually on Blue Sky anymore is just for when I go live. My bot is actually integrated with Blue Sky and Twitter, so I just cross post at the same time.
Nice. Okay.
But other than that, as much as Blue Sky looks nice and has like the similar UI to
I mean, if you want to
to-
add me,
yeah,
Hunter, you can.
I will never call it X. It's always Twitter.
It's always gonna
He
be.
can
It's
have
always
his
gonna be
mental-
Twitter.
Elon, Elon can have his mental fucking breakdown. I'm always gonna call it Twitter.
That platform is Twitter to me until I die. I don't care what the hell they call it. X. They could call it Jupiter for all they want to fucking call it. That shit is still Twitter.
Thank you, Graham,
That is
for the
still
follow.
Twitter.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But no, as much as I love Blue Sky, Twitter is just, it's been around longer and there's more people on it, and trying to rebuild the following that we have on Twitter over to Blue Sky is kind of a pain.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I have a Twitter account that I don't think I've touched this year. So I haven't touched my Twitter account at all. It's more of a
I
Blue
usually
Sky
scroll
thing.
through it if I want entertainment.
Yeah, I'm more active
Yeah,
on
there's-
Twitter.
there's gonna be a lot of
Twitter's
stuff on
kind of
there for
become
that.
TikTok nowadays.
I'm gonna go ahead and read his last question before the second question because it fits with it. How do you deal with jealousy within a poly relationship? That's actually a good question.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it definitely is.
Oh,
Jealousy, like
I mean, in our 5-way, there's only been one person so far as I know, that has shown any type of jealousy. And not going to lie, it may be my fault for it because I spend time with 2 of the others more than I spend with them. So I mean, I can understand that. That's because I'm limited on time due to work. Oh boy, that's a good question.
Jealousy is hard to deal with because I have had jealousy moments, and
Yeah.
I'm not even in a poly yet. I'm in an open relationship, so I have had jealous moments where I see that, and it's hard to deal with, but you have to like look at yourself and be like, look, I may be jealous, but they're still my friends. They're still somebody that I care about, or like, if I'm in a poly, they're still my partners. I just gotta voice my jealousy. Be like, hey, look, I'm a little jealous. That's where the communication also comes back in with about the jealousy. I am jealous. I feel like you're spending more time with this person more than me. Yada yada. Then that's where the communication. You guys talk, figure it out, so you guys can help with the jealousy and basically stomp out that fire before it gets too big. Make plans with each other so that jealousy can be stomped out. You're spending more time with them. Everybody's working together to help stop the jealousy from spreading, because I've seen that thing be a small kindle and let it burn into like a big bonfire. I've watched polys die because of that, and like
Yep.
you need to talk about it. If you have any form of jealousy, you need to talk about it, and you need to let the other partners know. Yeah, you need to communicate. Don't bottle that in. You bottle that in, it's gonna cause problems down the road. Don't bottle it in. It's better to talk about it now and let anybody who gets their feelings hurt about you talking about it now, get it out now. You guys can talk about it, solve it, and be good. You keep it till later, it's just gonna be worse. I've watched it happen too many times. Hi.
I agree, and I think that's what my failing was within the
Hi.
my first
There's nothing I
taste
can
of
do
a
right now.
poly
I'm in
relationship
something.
was just the fact that
I can hear him pacing.
I was long distance. The other 2
That's fine.
people in the poly were together, and it was a jealousy thing that I couldn't get to them. I couldn't be involved in the situations that
Kato.
they were getting involved in. So it made it difficult, and I think that's what made things difficult or gave me a bad taste in my mouth to a poly relationship.
Yeah, it's got to be a deep combo.
Was that aspect of it. But I can definitely
You're
understand
good.
it.
I'm doing
Jealousy
pretty
is
good,
hard to deal
Kato. It's
with
good to see
sometimes.
you. I appreciate that you've
It
been
is,
working.
and typically it's also a case-by-case basis on how to handle it, because each jealousy case could be a different way to handle. Like, for example, if one person is more aggressive when they get jealous, or if one person's more passive when they're jealous, you have to handle it base by base, depending on
Yeah,
how
I kinda-
they're acting.
yeah.
You agree on that?
I kind of agree on that one, yeah.
The
You sound
other
like ghetto,
question
oh
that
God.
he asked was, how has becoming more of a furry personality changed your perspective in the furry fandom as a whole?
Oh.
Oh,
boy.
Lord.
I'm going first.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a very long conversation about that, but I'm going to let these two speak over that one before I speak mine.
Oh boy. So when I first joined the furry fandom, it was actually ironically through a gay pride festival. The local pride, I saw someone wearing a tail and like rainbow leggings or something. Not
That might
full
need to be a
leggings,
separate
but just
session, though.
boots kind of thing. And I asked her, I'm like, why are you wearing all that fur? What are we doing? She goes, I'm a furry. I'm just like, bless you. What the fuck's a furry? She told me about the fandom. Says that, it's fully accepting. Everyone's welcome. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter, what body type you are. Everything covered in fully accepting. So I'm like, you know what? That sounds like something I want to do. And I did some more research, found out that a lot of furries support animal charities, which really, really fucking attacks me. Because as you know, I love animals, and as a matter of fact, MFF, when they announced the donation amount to the animal charity there, I fucking cried. I'm not gonna lie. I bawled my fucking eyes out.
Aw.
Actually, he was there. He might have remembered the amount. I don't remember the amount off the top of my head. But regardless, back then, I was told that the fandom was welcoming, inviting, accepting, the whole 9 yards. But after, I don't know, I want to say a year and a half in the fandom, like, especially in the furry, over 100K, that's right. It was over $100,000 donated to that charity.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's a
So
lot.
I was crying. I cried. I was blubbering. And Axel heard the entire thing. He was sitting right next to me when I was crying. But I was, so it was about a year and a half in, and I was trying to participate in our local furry group. We had a group called, I think it was West Idaho Furries or something like that. And I was trying to join our local community.
Oh my God,
But
Oscar.
every time I went to these events with them, it felt more like a clique than anything. It was like a furry specific episode of Mean Girls. And I'm just like, I don't want to be a part of this. I almost left the fandom until I discovered streaming. After discovering streaming, I realized that there are other furries that are accepting and don't care about what you look like, how you sound, what fucking part of the alphabet mafia you're a part of. They care about you as a person. So thanks to streaming, I was able to
Hunter.
really encompass my furry side and actually get more involved with furry events. And I'm still I'm happy to still be a part of it, but that was the one thing, was the inclusion and acceptance part of what everyone tells you. Oh, we're so inviting, we're so inclusive, we're so
Not
accepting.
a bad question, Hunter.
That was the biggest perception that I had broken while being a part of it.
Nice. I'm gonna keep mine pretty sweet, sweet and short. So for me, the fandom has done a lot. No, you're fine. No, you're fine, because Axel had said oh, we should probably not do a too long session, but we've only gone so far as it is anyway. So I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it.
It's already too late,
I'm enjoying
it's
it.
already too late, Axel.
But for me, the fandom has done a lot. The whole furry and being furry has gotten me to accept myself as who I am, because I used to not accept myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know there was a part of me missing. And yes, I know some people are like, there's a part of you missing. Yes. When I joined the furry fandom and I became, I got my character, I got everything set up, I was like, this was a part of me that I've been missing. And I felt more complete. I felt more whole, more part of something. And it's done a lot for me. I know there's good and bad to the fandom, but it's done way too much good for me to sit here and, hate the fandom at all. I'm never gonna hate the fandom, because it's done too good for me.
Same.
Too much. It's done too much for me. I've met all these awesome people. I met you guys. I met Axel. I met like Roscoe. Everybody in my chat. The furry fandom has done so much for me that I can't put into words. Like mentally, it's done so much for me. I can't thank everybody that I've met and become friends enough, and the furry fandom enough for it. Like a lot. Love you
Dad,
guys.
you want to do yours before I do mine, because mine's got a bad backstory behind it.
Sure. I'll try to see if I can clean this up a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to be
Right,
right back. I gotta use the restroom, so I'm gonna go that way.
Okay. So like I said in the past, what I knew as a furry was basically a bunch of risque pictures, back when I was younger.
Yeah.
I like the idea of anthropomorphic animals.
Hi, Tails.
Or humans with animal qualities. And this is something I even brought up. The last one was, you hear, even with people that don't like furries, refer to animal aspects to people, like he's a bear of a man, or, look like a rabbit, or, something like that. I've always believed that as humans, on the outside, we all have animals inside.
Yeah.
And I have a deep respect and love for Native American religion and how they see animals and stuff like that. That being able to shapeshift, to change your form
You're
into
fine.
an animal.
You're doing good, Tails.
I love that idea. I love the thought of being able to do that.
Start anywhere,
and even werewolves.
Start anywhere.
It's a furry. It's just a violent furry. I mean, that's it.
You can start anywhere with Furrcast.
Look, you can always provoke a werewolf just by being there.
Yeah.
But then you got were-rats, and then you got other animals, were-bears and stuff like that. That's a furry. It's in, you got it in D&D. In every aspect of life, there are furries. And then I got into anime. And even anime, the demi-humans, they got different aspects of them.
Oh yeah.
And on top of that fact is that not only are the ears and the tails just absolutely adorable, if I'm going into a game, the last thing I'm going to pick is to play a freaking human.
Yeah.
I don't understand the idea of going into a game to escape reality and become another human. It just doesn't make sense to me. I've always loved dragons. I always believed that I was dragon-blooded. I always believed that somewhere, some way, shape, or form, even in all the stories I used to write as a kid, I was always some way, shape, form a dragon.
About, like trying to narrow your
that is technically a scaly, but it's in the furry fandom also.
Yeah, Ali just gave two of them right there.
Even when
Ali just gave two of them right
and
there.
I was writing these stories and coming up with wild stories of my imagination, I was always a furry.
Yeah.
That's always what I have been. I've never been human. I've always been an animal. And then coming in to find out that I can actually be one with a bunch of others, it just was great. I loved it. When I met Axel and started hanging out with him and everybody else and meeting you guys, one after another, I love this community. I love this group.
Oh yeah.
The people are amazing. Yeah, there's a few bad eggs every once in a while, but I'd rather see this than humans. And being realistic, I don't like humans.
Yeah, definitely. So
I think
we
humans
can
are a waste of space.
I have a group call to help you
but I like
to make you make one.
So I like seeing this on a constant basis.
I'm in the same boat as you on that, Joker. I watched a lot of werewolf movies, and like the main show that got me into wanting to be, furry or like be a dragon, basically was American Dragon Jake Long. That show got me. That show got me wanting to be, because like, oh, he's a teenage boy who can change into a dragon whenever he wants to, and it's like, what? Blew my mind.
That's a lot of people don't understand is that
you remember that show, Axel? I loved that
the
fucking
furry,
show. Oh my god, I
fandom
love
of
that.
the
That's
furry
a childhood
community
show.
can
I love that
range
show so much.
drastically.
I will never
You know,
forget about that
from
show.
An animal with slight human characteristics.
Yeah.
Like even in the movies, you get a rat that wears clothing or a hat. It's still a furry. It's still showing human tendencies, but as an animal. And then you get to the demi-humans, which you find in a lot of anime, where they're basically humans, but they have a tail and they have ears.
They also have the chompers and claws sometimes too.
Yes, yep. So, you got people understand that throughout history, we've always had furries.
Especially D&D.
It's never changed. Yeah, and in D&D, it's never changed. It's in books. It's in religious texts. You got it in Disney
Oh my god,
films.
Hunter. You are a cool
The furry
person,
community
you
is
goofball.
all around us. You can't escape it, and that's what I love about the furry community.
I know,
myself.
right? It's so
The
good.
fact that it's everywhere.
You know, that does bring up a good point too, especially, considering, that I mean, I'm gonna go back on the mental health kind of note for a little bit too, but
Considering to myself joining this fandom, to say the least, for
a whole
year and a year and a month now, but secretly, I was kind of addicted to all the art that was being made for furries back way before.
so secretly I've been one for almost 7,
Nice.
But never fully shown myself.
until around late 2023.
So, well, I'm sorry, early 2023, not
2020, not 2024.
But I kind of had a really bad relationship to myself, pretty much.
So I basically had so many problems back in my whole entire life.
I was kind of one of those people that you didn't want to really hang around with, pretty much. And
He's a cool
I
person,
feel,
too. Hunter's a cool
I
person.
wasn't being appreciated so much. Even my own friends just were beating me
American
up like I
Dragon
was
Jake Long
pretty
is
much a chew
classic.
toy kind of thing.
I love that show so much.
So
Icon.
I kind of was just like down on my
I wanna watch that
down
show
on my
again.
whim, pretty much. I was pretty much done. I didn't want to.
I was almost at the point where it was like either going 6 feet under, pretty much.
I appreciate your details.
I just didn't feel appreciated. And after everything like that, I saw videos of Bubs and one other person named Rael. That's what kind of started clicking around to me a little bit.
Oh, nice.
So I kind of got a little bit.
I got a little bit more into it, a little bit more with Bubs and everything else. I kind of was like, you know what? I think I might start coming out to it. So, in March of 2023, I announced my first persona, to say the least, which was the Protogen type.
Mm.
That's what it came out with. That was the first one that it came out with. I actually did a drawing for the first, actually, too, as my first design. And AC was my first con, to say the least, as well.
And so far, everybody has been so welcoming. Everybody has been so very nice. So people say that people don't believe in change. There is change.
Definitely.
People all the time will say you can't change yourself. Look at me right now. I went from a hellhole of myself to now literally like being the most happiest person I have ever could be. I have had anger issues in the past. That is no longer the case for me. I have literally changed my life for a better and good experience. I have dealt so many cards against myself. I've even had my friends tell me that I was no good. Even my own father told me that I was a nothing, a nobody. And I wanted to prove him wrong. And I did. And you know what? I feel like this entire year that I've been here, I feel like everything has changed for the good to the better.
Woot.
And you know, it's something that you can't say out in the open. But I believe that you know that everything has changed for a good and for much better purpose
Hunter,
than
we appreciate
where I
you.
was
Don't
several
you
years
forget
ago.
that. You are loved and
And
appreciated.
you know, I can't
Everybody is in this
I
chat.
can't say enough that this fandom has definitely made me much happier. And
You're
I
not
feel,
alone, guys.
you know,
Anybody in this
being
chat who thinks they're
here
alone and not appreciated, you
has
guys
made
are
me a
loved
better
and
person
appreciated. Don't
than
think that
ever
you're not.
before. Everybody wants to take care of everybody, and that's what I feel like doing. And that's what I want to give back to everybody as well.
Exactly.
And I feel, you know, that if we didn't have this, I probably wouldn't be here, to be honest to you.
Excuse me, Rocco. Rocco. Sorry, my dog.
No, I'm the same way.
Move, move.
I kind of figured. I figured it was either you were petting your dog or you were petting your wife's leg. One of the two.
She's in the other room laying down in the bed. My dog came in, was like, "Give me attention."
But
Yeah, that's
Petting a
what
dog.
about the whole pet and animal thing too.
but I mean, you know, this has definitely changed me in a big direction. Because I honestly, I had no other place to turn. I had no other place to turn.
My dog came in, was like, "Give me attention."
I like I said, I was almost in the point where I was gonna be 6 feet, and it never, and you know, I didn't want that to happen.
And I'm glad it didn't, because I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten to meet you either, buddy. Wow.
But I'm with him. You know, I would not leave the fandom because
No, I was saying Rocco.
with my mental health issues,
It's
it
really
was the
close.
fandom that brought me to a place where I did not have to rely on medications to control my own my mental stability. I am not medicated for anything of my mental health. I have learned both through the furry fandom actually and research and self-awareness that
Self-discipline.
I have self-discipline, yeah, that I have been able to control my own mental health so that way I don't have to rely on meds to take care of it. Now, if I needed the medication or if I needed to go to counseling or something, I would. But I have gone, I think it's almost 7.5 years now of no counseling, no meds, no kind of mental health assistance at the moment.
Woo.
And I think I'm doing good. And it's because of the furry fandom that has brought my mood up where I can do that. And, you know, that's actually partly why I'll save that part for later, but it's a long story and I don't want to have that conversation until later, but it's part of the reason I made the decision that I did with you'd probably know what I'm talking about, because
That message is for you,
You know-
Barry,
Wait, what?
in my chat.
oh,
The highlighted message from Soup.
Hold on, I need to zoom in that because I can't barely see it myself.
Wow.
aw, dude, you're a sweetheart.
Soup, come on. Now you're gonna make me cry. Come on.
But no, I mean,
You're gonna make me cry, Soup. Come on now.
don't worry, you got a shoulder to cry on now, hun. But like Derry was saying, you know, back at the time before I joined the fandom, I was at one of my lowest points, to the point where I was also almost 6 feet. And the furry fandom is what helped turn me around. Maybe not the local furs, but the ones abroad are the ones who actually were able to get me to help turn around and fix myself for the better. And I will never go back. If I had to go back and change anything, I wouldn't.
I know I wouldn't change. My whole social interaction with, you know, people outside of my house and outside of the people I work with is you guys in the community. So if I wasn't here with you guys, I wouldn't have any social interaction with anybody besides my sister and the idiots I work with.
Yeah.
So,
The
I
only
mean,
social interaction I would have ever had was probably those at the freaking bowling alley, because I like to bowl just to kind of kill time and have fun. And they drink and they gamble. That's not the kind of crowd I want to be constantly around.
That's fair.
I mean, what do you expect? There just ain't much out there in Idaho to, you know, besides that.
Just like
I'm gonna Hey, Derry.
What?
Don't
no
kill
problem,
me.
Tails. I appreciate it.
But
Lol,
Rudy
your
says
ball.
that you are the true queen.
Oh my god.
Rudy, I swear to God, you are going to. I know you're still going to FWA. You are gonna get it. I'm telling you.
Joke, are you doing more questions, or are you closing in on the questions?
Yeah, I'm closing on the questions. As now, do you guys have any more questions, or do you have any more questions from
One
chat?
last question from chat. So I'll make it the last one. He said, Hunter has said, if you...
Axel says...
What do you say?
Go ahead, sorry.
Joker better be happy that Crimson isn't
Joker's-
going.
Yeah, you're lucky I'm not going, because that would bap you.
I mean, the only thing I'd have to worry about is the Mr. Potato Head doll, right?
Lol. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Make a special trip to you just for that. You're getting a special visit.
Damn.
You need some aloe vera. You need some aloe vera for that burn, apparently, from Joker.
Oh, God.
I'll get him later. Don't worry. I'll get him later.
The last question I got is from Hunter. He said, have any of us taken a break from the furry fandom, and for how long?
Nope. If I did that, I wouldn't. I would literally be.
I've only done it once. I've only done it once, and only for like a week. But that was because of, like I said, the local community was very toxic, very, mean girlish type of group, and I didn't feel like I belonged. So I did take a break, but it was a couple of members within that community that actually brought me back to it, making me realize that it wasn't the group, it was just the moderators and leaders of that group that were making it toxic. So basically only once, but not since then.
Yeah, nah, I haven't taken a break, and I don't plan to take a break.
I already answered your question. Nope.
Taking a
I've been
break
writing
though is
stories of
fine
dragons
sometimes.
for years. I'll never leave it.
Yeah.
So
Nope.
I'm all in.
Nope. I will not leave it. I will not put it on pause, because I will literally be like, what happened? What? No.
Okay.
No.
Derry, this is for you. Mwah.
I literally just saw it too.
I told you
to do that?
Soup
Who
did.
told you to do
Soup
that?
did.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did he smell like French fries when he gave you a kiss?
Oh my God.
Joker. Yeah, Joker has a thing where because when we
Joker, you
I'm
are
still
digging
kicking
yourself
my
a
mom.
hole. You are digging yourself a hole worse than Jake right now. You are digging yourself a hole worse than Jake right
oh my
now.
god.
Yeah, I'm taking my mom's car. I'm sending you a visit.
Roscoe
And I'll make
said
sure to
this.
bring some French fries just to set you up too.
It's not a question, but he said this for everybody here. Not a question, but meeting you guys have been the best thing ever. Y'all make me happy and welcome within this fandom. Love you guys. So,
Aw. We love you too, Roscoe.
Same.
yeah,
I agree.
I do agree. And that's all the
Well-
that's all the questions I have.
That went from a 1-hour podcast to a 3-hour podcast.
I
I
am-
went from a 1 to a 3.
I enjoyed every bit of
We
it.
did speak a lot of that, to say the least.
I did tell Joker.
I mean-
said, as far as time
I
frames,
did
said
enjoy
it
it,
last
though.
an hour or more. And I said I got a very
Depending on
active-
participants.
Yep.
And I told Joker, I
And we were
said
very active
when
on
he
it.
told me the topic, I was like, oh, I have a lot to talk about. That's going to be a topic to talk
You're
about.
like-
I mean, I had a lot to say about that, to say the least. But the poly thing, I would have been like,
Listen, when he told me it was going to be an hour, but then told me what the topic was, I'm just like, yep, I'll make sure to plan at least 4 hours out, because this is not going to be a 1-hour thing. Especially as someone with mental disabilities, I'm just like, nope, this is not going to be an hour. This is going to be
yeah,
long.
this is definitely not gonna be an hour.
Oh, I enjoyed
It was
every bit of
definitely
it.
worth it, though. I did have a good time with it.
And you guys will definitely be. I have a plan for the next one, the next couple.
Let's go.
Oh, shit.
But Axel,
Oh boy.
I look forward.
Axel did say some after FWA. We're all gonna get together and kind of had because what he does with his streams is he goes over and talks about everything that went on, and I figured that would be another perfect time to kind of go over because a lot of us are meeting for the first time.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be crazy to talk
Yeah.
about.
I've already,
That would be
I've
a
already-
lovely
I've already
podcast
met
to talk about.
Axel. I've already met
I've already met Axel.
but Joker, I've not yet met you. I've not met you. I've not met Roscoe. Well, actually, no. Did I meet Roscoe? I don't remember.
Yeah. It's gonna
You
be the first
might
time.
have, because he was at MFF, but he might not have been around me at that time. I don't think he was around me at the time I met you.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy for me because this is gonna be the first time meeting everyone, literally everyone. I haven't met anybody in any of the groups in person. Like, there's some other friends who are gonna be at FWA that I've never met them in person. So I'm gonna be a wreck.
Yes, definitely, Rudy.
I'm gonna be a wreck.
But also,
when I go
Roscoe,
there.
remember, you're still getting the shocky treatment.
Zappy Zappy. Oh, I can't wait to Gravity's broadcast.
Cattle
to
prod,
his
shot
podcast.
collars. I like those. Those are fun.
I have a pie shock. That's what I have.
No, but I genuinely love podcast. I love the having the podcast in VR chat. I love it so much. Like, being part of it, even hosting it. Like, I love it. Everything about it. Just sit down and talk with friends, and just talk about anything.
And that's what I like too. And I, like I said before, when it comes to the furry community, I want it
Soup's
to be.
giving us all forehead kisses for all of us.
Aw.
Thank you, Soup. Thank you, Soup. Sadly, you won't make it. I wish you could make it to
The
FWA
goggles, since
Hunter. I
don't want-
really wish.
I don't want marks on my. No, I can't take it off. Anyways.
You
We're
tried.
gonna go ahead and
You're just
end
gonna
it
have
here.
you have tongue smooches on your lenses. It's fine.
Yeah. As long as they can just clean them with their tongue. That's just make sure you don't eat anything boring.
Oh.
Listen,
If you lick with food in your mouth, then the food gets stuck on there. And it gets horrible. And then you're just gonna have to lick
It's
harder
even
and
worse
lick
if
it all
you've got
out.
white liquid too.
mm-hmm.
Oh
My God.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Look at this guy. This guy looks amazing.
I'm gonna go
that
over
reminds me.
here.
No,
Next-
get your ass over here, hon.
I have an idea for the next stream. We're gonna go into a little bit more of a darker side of things.
MFF
and
Hunter. Sorry.
VRC and or the furry community. A lot of the people I know in this sort of situations not really particularly are furries. But I do know that one person that kind of runs things is a furry. I'm going to talk to him and see about getting him on the show for next week and see if he'll bring a couple people with him and see what we can do with that. So next week may be interesting and it may be a lot darker than these 2 episodes have been.
Oh boy.
We will see, and I'll leave it open for the ones after that. Like I said, usually the content I get, kind of the questions I get from these is just by going online, just by coming into the VRC and join your
Just our
guys' companies.
experiences.
You should come to
Is where I
Furrydelphia.
usually get my
Philadelphia's
questions
closer to me.
and the ideas for the podcast. So we'll see what comes up
Definitely
after
should
that.
come to Philadelphia.
How long are you gonna stay streaming there, Fen?
Probably for a couple more hours I'll be streaming.
Okay. Excellent. We're
Okay,
going
well,
to raid out to.
He asked me the question.
Have fun with that.
He asked me the question. I kind of had an idea of like, oh, he's probably just gonna raid into me.
You knew it was gonna come to you.
Yeah, I kind of did.
And of course, everybody else, have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the wonderful questions. We had great questions this time. Hopefully the questions will continue to come like that. And I'm gonna go right out to Fen, and everybody have a wonderful night.
Oh yeah, the
And
question.
also, considering the fact that Grav wants me to build a world for him for a podcast, I will see about getting him one as well.
Yeah,
I just need to know like a design pattern and
I'm probably
stuff
gonna
like
build
that,
a world
so-
as well. Cause I was planning for the podcast that me and my one friend have. I was gonna build a world for our podcast as well. So like, but we haven't recorded in a
Gary,
while.
do you want one too?
What a world being. Oh Jesus Christ!
For a podcast for you.
Specifically for your podcast and stuff. Well, then I look forward to doing more podcasts.
That way it
stuff.
has like your theme in the whole 9 yards. Like mine cyber themed, so I would have like
Oh, okay.
cyber
I might be the MFF this
like
year too.
armor robots or something and shit like that. So
I'll have to. Yeah, I think that would work out very well because then I can bring everybody from the last one before I postponed it into it, and that would be actually good.
Yeah.
okay.
I want to be guest. I want to do some more guest podcasts of me being a guest for some people's podcasts, but I also want to bring people onto my podcast with me and my friend because it's his idea that he brought me along with, and it's basically our podcast. I want to get back in it. We got 2 episodes right now, but I want to record more. I definitely want to do more.